Welcome one and all to oNiD Racing, and something a little bit different tonight. Number one, we're streaming on a Wednesday, which is about as disconcerting as a punch in the face, but it's for a very good reason, and that is because tonight is the first ever Jimmy Broadbent powered by oNiD Racing event. So we're streaming the whole thing live tonight, and when I say the whole thing, that is because we have got a whole GT4 series in one night. So this is going to be a bit of an epic stream tonight. I am Adam D, by the way, for those of you who are new to watching us, and I'll be bringing you live coverage of all 6 races. So goodness knows what kind of time we will finish up tonight. But hey, I've got nowhere else to be. So if you haven't, stick with us and see what happens. Now, unfortunately, Mr. Broadbent has had some other things come up very, very last minute tonight. So hope he gets all that stuff sorted that he needs to. But we are still going to have an absolutely packed grid of GT4 cars because people are here to race each other, not just to be on the same grid as Mr. Broadbent. So we are into qualifying for the first session. Just to explain the format for you tonight, we have got 6 races at 3 different tracks, so that's 2 per track, of course. What happens first is you get a 10-minute qualifying session, which we are half the way through right now, and that will provide us the grid for race 1 here at Alton Park, and then there will be another 10-minute qualifying session where only those who finished outside of the top 10 are allowed to qualify. So those who finish at the front will start race 2 at the back. So that's how things will happen tonight, and then we'll move on to the next track. And once again, the top 10 from race 2 won't be able to qualify for race 3, and so on and so forth. So we are going to have some action-packed racing tonight. Oh, and did I mention the races are only 10 minutes long? So definite action. Ben's with me at the moment. Ben, good evening. How are you, sir?
Still a bit croaky, but all good. Really looking forward to this, so good to go.
Absolutely. As both Willie and Cammy have pointed out, that I need to
we need to fit absolutely into every sentence, I think, at this point.
Absolutely, yes. Now, Mr. Dan Hyde will be with us at times too this evening as well. I think he's just gone off to deal with some child issues. There's a car that needs to hold its brakes and does nicely. But you didn't fancy this one tonight, Ben? King of the GT4s?
I'd be lying if I said I wasn't interested. But we really wanted to put on a stream tonight, didn't we? So, and it was reasonably not last minute, but a couple of days preparation, and it's sometimes difficult to ask people to make the time up, especially 4 hours to come and stream. So I volunteered, but yes, I would be loving to get on there tonight. It's a lot of racing, a lot of qualifying and race sessions, 3 different tracks as well. So at a good, decent grid as well. We've got some really quick guys in, but not just the quick guys at the front, but also all the way through. As with all the oNiD's events, we've got a nice selection of speeds and pace across the field, so we should have plenty of action all the way through.
Now, Ian Hall, the man who you battled all the way through the season that finished last night for the title in GT4s, he must have been thinking to himself, "Oh, no Ben tonight, happy days." And then Miles Dixon rocks up, and then the likes of Jimmy Manti rock up as well, who hasn't put time in yet, has he? No, not quite yet. So he must have been looking forward to a really easy night, and then these guys rock up. So yeah, good luck.
Well, he's got Georgia there as well. He's not too slow in a GT4 either. So there's plenty of quick guys in here. So I don't think I've ever seen Jimbo in a GT4, so I'm interested to see how he does tonight. I know he hasn't set a time yet, and he's in the Porsche. Yeah, I'm interested to see how he does.
I'm actually, because obviously he jumped on the stream for the GT4s last night and absolutely loved what he was watching. So I think he bit the bug a little bit last night and got himself in for this one. But also, I think he might have even jumped himself into the next GT4 league as well in the in the Porsche. Ian Hall has just gone fastest, by the way. So yeah, maybe Ian can sit relaxed that you're not there. Now we are grabbing a few new followers tonight. So SLR KL1XS. I'm sure you've probably got a much better way of saying that than welcome along. We've had a couple of other guys jump in with their follows as well. I know that Jimmy's put a message out. There's another one, 8R13. I know that Jimmy's put out a couple of messages this evening, just talking to those on Gymcord. I wish I was big enough to have an Adam, by the way. But yeah, he's told all of his cuties on Gymcord that he has partnered with oNiD. So those of you that are coming to us this evening, having seen that message, welcome along to oNiD, and welcome along to the kind of racing that we enjoy putting on. We will talk a little bit later on about how the partnership is going to work and all of that kind of stuff. But Keegan Hayeks, thanks for the follow as well.
I think,
So,
can I just say that this is a perfect kind of event to show what we do, really, because we are big fans of GT4s, aren't we?
well,
we do feel like they're underrepresented in the ACC world, especially in like the kind of competitive world. And so being able to put on this event for 6 rounds, and it's in GT4s, which, correct me if I'm wrong, Adam, I think the GT4s might have been one of the first ever ACC events we did a year ago, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So it's really good to have a really good turnout tonight, and people driving in the cars that we're kind of used to them driving.
Yeah, and GT4s are becoming more and more popular with us. Snorhax02, thank you for the follow. And it's great to see, because I think I have described us recently on other streams as the home of GT4 racing. Now, I'm sure other communities would try and lay claim to that one, but we have put on plenty of GT4 series over the past couple of years, or the past year, I should say, and they're growing in popularity. And of course, Ben, you are, as of last night, our reigning GT4 champion.
Yeah, which I think is my first champ win in since it started.
Well, I was thinking
I can't
this.
remember. I
No,
can't remember
and
winning another one.
And when you crossed the line last night, I almost said with his first oNiD championship win, but it didn't feel quite right.
If we don't include Project Cars, I think that's true.
I think we don't include
Project Cars. So if we don't include Project Cars too, I think that's probably right. So it was a nice night last night, and it was just a really good fun season. I mean, British tracks and GT4s, you can't really beat it, can you? So
no, you can't, and it's good to be starting at one this evening. Jimmy Mancy on provisional pole, is he?
Well, I think Miles is about to beat him. If Miles keeps it clean through the last corner, I think he's got this one hooked up.
Well, that'll be interesting. Those two have had a few ding-dong battles in the past. Nice to see a few of the Pulse Sim Sport guys with us again tonight. And also nice to see some representation from Prismatic tonight as well, and a bit of E-Team Brit in there as well. There's a folk in tonight from all over the place, so that is great to see. And look, thank you guys for coming and joining us tonight. We've got some people racing with us for the very first time tonight, and a lot of regulars. And for those of you that are just coming into watching oNiD for the first time, we've got some great channel partners here, and I would, of course, nudge you in the direction of checking those guys out. Simrace247.com, Ben22racing.com for all your liveries, Caden Computers for all of your gaming computer needs. Go for the Gap for all your motorsport art needs as well, aka Cami. Pitwall.live help us with some live timing as well. And there's this little thing called sim-stuff.com, the home of affordable, high quality button boxes. And if I sound like I know what I'm talking about with sim stuff, that's because that's me.
Humble
Cammy's in
brag,
the
humble
chat
brag.
as well. Sorry?
Humble brag.
Humble brag indeed. Yeah, yeah. Cammy's in the chat, by the way. So she's going to go and get some practice with some benchmark times in mind now. Yeah, good idea. Good idea. Oh, you were. We should have invited you, Cammy. We really should. That would have been a good shout.
I mean, you can come
Um,
and replace me if you want.
yeah, or you can come and replace Dan, who seems to be dealing with child issues still. But we are about to go racing. On the subject of live timing, by the way, Ben, is that up and running tonight?
No, it's not tonight. It would require 6 setups because we were having to run it across multiple servers, so I didn't really fancy running that as well.
No,
So,
absolutely,
especially on a
and yeah,
10-minute race. So
that is one of the interesting bits tonight is that poor old Ben has got to run or jump us through 6 different servers tonight, which is always good fun. Now, of course, because these are short races, the guys are only getting a short warm up as well, which is really interesting when you're in a GT4 because they don't have tyre warmers. So we're already through Lodge and we're about to get started at Alton Park here. So Miles Dixon, Jimmy Mancy, Jonathan Seville, and then Mr. Poe, Hall, Matheson, McDonald, Finney, Zalecki, and Joy. That is your top 10 as we go green and we go racing. And the two Pulse Sim Sport guys to the inside, but Mancy tries to go around the outside, has a little love tap on the back of Dixon and ends up running a bit wide. So he has lost that second place and I think was about to be swarmed by a couple of other cars as well. So we'll check back in on Jimmy's progress in just a moment. And we're looking back up to the front of the field. The two Pulse Sim Sport cars of Miles Dixon and Jonathan Seville lead us away. Then it's Poe, then Mancy, then Matyson. I'm going to say Matyson. It's either Matyson or Matheson. I'm going to go with Matyson, I think, for this one. But the two Pulse boys are pushing each other hard already, Ben.
as expected, we kind of thought that they'd be right towards the front. We haven't seen either of them in the GT4 before, but we know they've been right at the front of the GT3 World Series that we've just finished. So we knew that they were going to be quick, and it looks like they've picked it up straight away.
Indeed, nice mixture of cars out there tonight. McLarens and Ginettas and Porsches and Astons, and I think there's a couple of AMGs out there as well. There's even an Alpine, and we have some incident further through the field. That, I think, is Jovan Kovacic. Yes, it is in the 888. So he's recovering back onto the track now. And as Ian Hall had himself a moment as well, he's dropping down the order, and that is a damaged BMW. So the man that was the vice champion in our GT4 series as of last night is dropping down through the field. So we don't know what happened to Ian, but he's definitely picked up some damage along the way. So it'd be interesting to see if he just tries to hold it out or whether he dives for the pits at the end of this lap. So Dixon, Seville, Mancy, Matyson, that is your top 4. Matyson gets all out of shape.
Well held.
Coming out of turn 1, but it was very well held. I mean, that Ginetta is a slidey boy at the best of times, so he did well to hold that. Looks like Mancy just running a little wide on the exit of Cascades as well. So Matyson right with him as they head down towards Shell Oil's hairpin. They're coming into now. We are looking here at George McDonald trying to get himself past Zach Finney. And that is Dave Zalecki directly behind in one of the oNiD coloured cars. So again, those of you new to oNiD, purple is our colour. Now, I'm told it's Matheson. Matheson.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for the clarifications. We do appreciate that sort of thing. We don't want to get people's names wrong.
No, and Matheson is one of the guys that I haven't seen here before, so always going to be learning first time around. I did have some fun with some of the rookies' names last season, the season that we've just finished. Here's one I do know: Graham Jackson, aka Dog Juice, driving the Juice Sport McLaren tonight. He's running 16th and directly behind Mr. Johnny Ashley, who is in the 69 Janetta just in front of him. And Johnny, by the way, is the community owner around here. He's the big boss, the big scary man behind oNiD. Although not scary at all. Though he does have his moments, doesn't he?
No. He might put on a tough front, but I'm waiting to see the first person who will spear him off into a wall at some point tonight. So
now Dan Hyde is here, so that means that Johnny is safe from at least one punt tonight, right, Dan?
Well, you'd hope so.
You'd be doing well if you managed to punt him from the comms box, but
I usually manage to snipe him. We cut to him and he's put it in a wall or spun on the formation lap.
Yeah, he does like a little formation lap incident, doesn't he? Now, gap out front is not huge, but I would suggest that... Oh, hang on. Is that Mancy going off?
Yes, is Mancy laughing at me making mistakes? Oh, dear.
Yeah, that was a big old mistake as well. So that drops him a couple of places down through the order. I happened to be looking at the wrong screen at that time, so so didn't see what happened originally. But Jimmy has dropped it and cost himself dearly there. Meanwhile, Jonathan Seville is getting closer to Miles Dixon. Now these two had a interesting race around here in our GT3 World Series event not so long ago when it rained halfway through the race, and these two teammates, they decided to stay on the slicks and it did not work out for them. So looking to put all of that behind them tonight and take a Pole Sport 1-2 is the idea. Only 4 and a bit minutes left of this one. So, Dan, you'd expect that these two can probably bring it home, but in which order, I do not know.
It looks like they're getting very close indeed. They have built a reasonable gap to 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, although that they aren't too far apart. Some of the cars behind.
Yeah, Seville getting much closer as they head into Shell Oils. It's not really a place to send one up the inside, but I wonder if he might think about it into not the first chicane, but probably the second one. This is Zach Finney side by side with Dave Zalecki. And Dave trying to hold on the inside at Shell Oils. But Zach will now have the inside line for this first chicane, but backs out of it quite wisely. It's a tricky place to go side by side. Can we jump back to the leaders? There they are, and they are side by side. Just trying to work out which one's which at the moment. It's Seville to the inside as they go through Knickerbrook, and he takes the lead, and that was not friendly teamwork.
No, that looked very much like a touring car manoeuvre there with door handle to door handle action.
But gets it done, and he's through into the lead, as Cammy says. Multi-21, Seb. Yes, no team orders there, but you wouldn't expect it in what is really a social league tonight. 10-minute races, 6 of them back to back. And of course, the interesting thing is, at the moment, Sablinskas is 10th, but he might want to just drop that 10th place and drop behind Shipper, because the top 10 in this race don't get to qualify for the next one, as we see Jimmy Mancy to the inside of Tony Ertel. Sorry, that's not Jimmy Mancy, that is Ertel that we're looking at. And he is looking at Zach Finney now after Zach dropped back from his challenge on Dave. But I think Zach is going to hold that through Cascades, and nice to see Turtle back with us tonight. Drive through for car 30, that's Poe, who is in 4th. So a drive-through in a 10-minute race is not an ideal scenario.
It certainly isn't, and if he doesn't take that drive-through, it's certainly going to drop him back a few places.
Whether he takes it or not, his night is done, really, in race 1. But at least he will get to qualify for race 2. And actually, considering he's got the pace to be up in 4th, he would have a very good shot at pole for race 2. Is that Dave Zalecki getting... No, it's Johnny Ashley in front getting it all wrong. So that puts Felix Ingerden alongside him, and Ingerden gets past the Swedish driver who's been with us in our inaugural rookie season that's just finished. That could Graham Jackson, who's making good progress. So he got himself past Johnny. And that looks to me like he's got himself ahead of Joy as well now. So up into 12th in the Juice Sport car. So
Yeah.
Graham having a really good night tonight.
Yeah, and someone else looks to be alongside Johnny in the background.
Yeah, that's he's got Matthias Heidenreich right behind him now. Another one of the great performances from our rookie season. And he's having a look coming out of Lodge, down through the dip, up and over the crest, across the stripe, and he will see whether he's got a chance into Old Hall, but not quite close enough this time around. But Johnny gets a punt. What was Ben saying?
He's held that very well.
He has actually for Johnny. That was quite impressive.
And Heinrich has done the nice thing and stayed behind.
He has, yeah. Heidenreich's a pretty solid driver like that, so good driving. Jonathan Seville has got away at the front a little bit. Dixon not really letting him go. I think this is going to be our final lap, isn't it, Ben?
Yes. What, 20 seconds to go? Unless they can get around the last 5 corners within 20 seconds, I think this is it. So it looks like Seville's just keeping the pace up. Although Dixon's just closed up a little bit. Is he getting ready for a dive at the last corner? He's closed up 3/10 in the last 3 corners.
Are we going to see another Neil and Shedden?
Neil Shedden, exactly. The infamous teammate on teammate last corner.
I don't think he's quite
this
close
track
enough.
as well.
I mean, it would have to be a proper Mansi dive bomb from back there, but no, he's not close enough for that one, surely. And he's not, so unless Seville drops it out the final corner, Jonathan Seville is going to take round 1 of this mini 6-race championship. All 6 races in one night. And there we go. So Everson or Meverson, DT means drive through, but Poe electing not to take the drive through because it's just a short race. So he picks up a penalty instead in place of that. So Seville from Dixon, then Poe, then Matheson, then Mansi, McDonald, Zalecki, Tony Ertel, Zach Finney, Ian Hall, and Rudolf Stein. We're currently looking at, so Sablinskas has dropped back, maybe a bit further than I was suggesting, but at least he does get to qualify next time around. So I'm going to suggest that Poe ends up on pole and Sablinskas second for round 2. How's about that for a prediction?
Sounds like a valid prediction based on the pace in race 1.
Willie says all to play for, no team orders in a social. Damn straight, Willie. No team orders at all. And like you yourself said, Dan, in chat, all is fair in a 10-minute race. Ben, Cammy's just suggesting that Dan's a little bit quiet. So I don't know. Oh, you've sorted it already. Thank you very much. And nice to see Gandalf the Gravy in the chat as well. That's Mr. Tom Stocks. So thank you for jumping in as well. And there we go. There is your reminder that you can also find us on YouTube as well. So if you want to watch back any of our past broadcasts, then they all end up on our YouTube channel about 24 to 48 hours after the event is broadcast live here on Twitch. You can hit that link right there, and that'll take you to our YouTube channel, and you can hit the subscribe button. And as most of you are Jimmy Broadbent fans, I'm sure you also know that you need to press the old notification button as well. There you go. So, Matt Hudrick, this is some of the most fun you can have in 10 minutes. Well, let's not start listing the other things that you can do in 10 minutes that are fun. But Pepper, you are right. This track is hard. It is, even in these GT4s. Fester wants a beer fridge in the sim room, but the missus hasn't budged on that one. Oof. I got myself one of those tiny little fridges off of Amazon. You can get 4 cans in there, and it's absolutely superb. And it was cheap as chips as well. So grab yourself one of those. That'll do.
It's an ad.
Sorry?
Sorry, is this an ad? What are we talking about?
No, I'm just giving Fester some advice. He's like, I want a beer fridge, but the missus won't let me.
It's
I'm
making
saying
me really want a fridge in here.
Yeah, it's got to be done. I mean, when I'm back out in the sim shed and no, I am not copying Jimmy of past. I just do my racing in the garage when I'm able to race. That is, I have a little fridge out there because when it gets to the summer, man, that shed gets hot. But there we go. Hiker's enjoying himself, which is good to see. And yeah, this is one race down, 5 to go. Miles Dixon's in the chat as well. Miles, unlucky on that one. A little tap out of the way from your teammate, but some good pace from the pair of you. It'll be interesting to see how you guys get yourself back up through the field in this one. So there is a short practice session, which is really just there for everyone to get loaded into the new server. Gives people a chance to do a couple of laps if they want to, but essentially it is just to let everyone get into the second server ready for the next qualifying session. And just as a reminder, the top 10 finishers from race 1 are not allowed to qualify for race 2. So Dan, that's going to bring some opportunities for people.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's going to allow those that finished, you'd assume, from 11th to 20th, well, 11th to 20th to be at the front of the grid, and then you're going to see a lot of action where the winners that and second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth got to try and make their way from the back of the grid towards the front.
Absolutely, that's going to be the plan for the guys towards the back. They've got a lot of work to do tonight. Now, Mr. Mancy, would you watch your language in the chat there, sir? I don't expect better of you, actually. It's a ridiculous thing to.
No, it's what we expect from him.
Yeah, it's
from him.
Fully what we expect. And Jimbo was saying that you got a bit slidey at the chicane. Yeah, we saw.
That's exactly what I did, I think, isn't it? In the GT4 race a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, did you notice how that?
Except that Jimbo managed to rejoin the track safely, unlike me.
Yeah, I was just going to say, did you notice he managed to rejoin without wiping out a championship challenger in the process?
Well, if you're going to crash, do it properly.
That's straight out of the Johnny playbook, that one.
I take that back, don't clip that.
Oh, no, that's going to... Whatever you do, don't ever say to me, don't clip something, because then I've gone and stuck it in my mind that there's something that needs clipping. But there we go. Yeah, so Mr. Seville, he's in the chat as well. Well done. Well done. Great race from you. See if you can bring it through from the back next time around. Mr. Dave in there as well. More time to drink whiskey when you don't need to qualify, eh, Jimbo? Yes, Mr. Mancy has bought himself a bottle of whiskey, especially for tonight. What a lad. So, what I will also be able to do is, as we go through things tonight, as each previous server closes down and the next one opens up, I will keep you updated on the standings, because we have got a whole championship in one night tonight. As I've said a couple of times, 6 races back to back to back to back to back to back, and we will crown a social champion at the end of it tonight. Or Ben, does this actually mean that after tonight you're not our reigning GT4 champion?
Sure. I'll keep the championship for one day. Can I just point out Rob's brilliant car name?
I can't actually see it. Oh, Nutfest. Yeah, he had the Nutfest last night. For those of you that have no idea what we're talking about, stick a exclamation mark Nutfest in the chat and you'll see it. Well, not see it. You get to hear it. Jesus, God, that took a bad turn, didn't it? Evening, Tim. Hello, sir. Welcome along. Nice to have you pop in. So we're just in the last couple of seconds of free practice here, and then it will jump into qualifying. And then remember, the top 10 from the previous race do not get to qualify next time around. Thanks Dan. Appreciate that. there is your Nutfest clip. Which, in fairness, Ben, came at the end of a very long stream, right?
Oh yeah, but it's not going to stop me clipping it and putting it on the soundboard either. So I can just click this button here, and although my levels are a bit low, it plays it. You can't hear that, can you? I've just realised I haven't got it set up so you can hear it. Sorry, everyone else in the world can hear it though. It's not loud enough. I need to sort that for next time.
Oh man,
It needs to be
yes.
ear-bleedingly loud. Right.
The one thing that nobody ever wants me to be is ear-bleedingly loud. Oh, you are so resisting saying something then, but
yeah, I'm just gonna mute my microphone.
Notice how Poe's jumped straight to the top of the timing sheet. So you know, I know it's only practice at the moment, but qualifying is coming up next.
So this is the second race, Alton, before we change tracks, isn't it?
It is, yes. So after this, we head to Zandvoort next, which is just a beautiful place to drive GT4s.
Yes, perfect track for it.
Especially if it's a little bit damp on track and Adam tries to drive it on slicks.
Yes, that's not ideal.
Yeah, it's not great.
It almost worked, but not quite. And then after that, so this is the second race at Alton Park coming up. Then we've got 2 at Zandvoort, like we just said, and then the final 2 will be at Misano, which will be an interesting place to throw a load of GT4s around. A little bit bigger, wider, and open.
I think we've had that on a couple of the GT4s. We've definitely had it in Mess when it was the multi-class, and then we also had it on one of the GT4 championships, I think. I'm not sure what it is about that track, but it just seems to work for GT4s.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering, who have we got then? So Poe and Ian would be your go-tos for pole here then, I guess, because
of course Ian, yes.
Ian we believe he had an incident with the wall, and Poe obviously with the drive-through. We know he was fast because they were up in third at the time. So George was pretty up there as well. I did drop back a few places. Oh no, he's finished in the top 10, so he's not going to be there. It's going to be tricky. It's tricky to overtake here as well, so it's going to be really interesting.
I mean, I put my suggestion as Poe on pole, but a good shout would have been Ian Hall. I'd completely forgotten about Ian. So, who will be on pole? Well, we're going to find out in a minute because we're about to go qualifying, and then we will see which one of them prevails. Of course, it could be somebody completely different. You never know. Now, I have noticed that the exclamation mark merch command is not working. That's my fault, Ben, so I will fix that in a minute. But if you do want to pick yourself up any oNiD merch, maybe you like our logo, like our colour scheme, whatever, then you can head to sim-stuff.com and click on the button for oNiD Racing Collection. And you can see all the t-shirts and mugs and hoodies and everything on there, including the Mansi special, the Dive Bomb Mansi hoodie, t-shirt that's on there as well. So plenty of opportunities to help the community out. Any money that we get come in as a community gets pumped straight back into running all this stuff. Same thing with any subscriptions on here as well, and anything else you can throw at us on Twitch as well. But we are back into the action, and this man that we are looking at right now is Mr. Thomas Stock, and I thought he had a nice Boonatics livery for tonight.
I was thinking the same.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if we stopped custom liveries, although a couple seem to have snuck through. I'm not sure.
The oNiD ones have snuck in, yes. So maybe Tom followed instructions to the letter and decided not to drop it in. But yeah, so here's Tom. Tom, one of our admins. So he looks after all of our AMS2 racing, and he helps me out on the Assetto Corsa stuff as well. And Tom actually works for the Alpine F1 team, so he took the opportunity to jump in the Alpine tonight. Either of you driven the Alpine much?
I haven't. I tend to pick one car and stick to it. So in GT4, I've only driven the Camaro and the Ginetta.
That's 2 cars.
Yeah. Well, I drove the Camaro for one season and then decided it was too much of a NASCAR, so switched. And then I've only driven the Ginetta since then.
Yeah, I seem to remember having numerous battles with you when you were in that Camaro in a GT4 season in the past. Yeah, what about you, Ben? Have you driven the Alpine much?
I've given it a quick go. It can be a little bit skitty, so I immediately moved to another car. So, but it's quick, like definitely on the right sort of track. I'm not sure how it would be at Alton, but I can imagine at Zandvoort it would be pretty good round there. So it'd be interesting to see Tom giving that one a go. I don't know if has Tom used it much. I'm not sure. I know he's an Alpine boy,
not a lot.
Alpine boy, so
Yeah, not a lot. He's not driven GT4 in quite a while, actually, Tom. He's sort of got stuck into the GT3s a little bit, and obviously looking after our AMS2 and AC content as well. But Johnny Ashley up in 3rd. Nosebleed time for Johnny. No wonder he decided to exclude the top 10 from qualifying in each race.
Maybe this is his way of trying to get on the front row by disabling the 10 cars in front of him.
He's not even managing that at the moment, is he? So
I did predict Ian on pole, but Ian's in the pits, so I assume, did he sneak into the top 10 and I didn't notice? Maybe.
He must have done. Now, what's interesting is I've just seen in the old admin chat that Dave's just popped a message in there to say, we've only got 9 cars sat in the pits. So someone is out there that shouldn't be right now. So I'm sure that somebody is going to get their bottom smacked in a minute. Wallace 4 with the follow. Thank you for that, sir. With a big old F next to your name as well. I don't know why he's got a big old F there. We're not trying to say that you're F already. But thanks for the follow. And thank you to all of you that are joining us for the first time. It's great to have you here at oNiD. So oNiD Racing has been going for just over a year now. We've got about 1,100 members on Discord at the moment. So we've had a pretty good first year and grown very, very well. We race here on Sundays with GT3 on ACC. We race Mondays on Assetto Corsa, a mixture of different stuff. Tuesdays we have our GT4 series on ACC. Wednesdays we're normally having a little sleep and rest. Thursdays we have our Rookies Championship in ACC. Fridays we tend to do a bunch of different social events and things like that, including stuff on Xbox as well. So that's where our Xbox Friday Night League happens. And then we tend to do events over the weekend as well. So always plenty of stuff going on at oNiD. But the reason why this is going on tonight is this is our first Jimmy Broadbent powered by oNiD Racing event. So Jimmy has selected oNiD Racing as his community partner on simracing.gp. So we will be managing all of Jimmy's events on SGP going forward, and bringing that community to life with some organised racing, and there's going to be plenty going on, trust me. So watch Jimmy's Discord and everything like that for all of the information. But right now, Adam's got the Jeremy Clarkson smug face on because look who's on pole.
Yeah, pole by quite some way as well at the minute. Obviously, we knew that the guys at the front were pretty quick, so it looks like there might be 10 or 11 of them who are quite quick, and we might have a sneaky person on pole by quite a distance in each race, maybe. Well, at least at Alton anyway. Obviously, we can go through different tracks and things, but yeah, I mean, hoping in a good lap there.
All it takes is for one quick guy to finish just outside of the top 10, through an incident or a penalty or something like that, as Poe did last time around, and off they go. I wonder if that's why we've only got 9 sat in the pits. I wonder if somebody didn't see that, somebody thought that they finished 11th, but then got elevated by Poe's penalty and didn't realise that they then needed to sit out qualifying. Hazard a guess that might be what happened.
That sounds the most likely. We've got some known drivers to us. Wilbert's up in 4th, doing well.
Yes, Mr. Van Oosenen is getting quicker and quicker and quicker every time I see him. Rob Jack's up in 5th as well, and Tom Stock's in 3rd. Good man. So showing that Alpine can do it as well.
Wow.
Just back into the chat. Could be Turtle says the top 10 starting at the back is going to be chaos. I'm assuming that is you, Mr. Ertl. Also, welcome into the chat. Miles Dixon coming through like wrecking balls. I sincerely hope not. And Ducky, yes, we did let the Rob Jacks guy in. Or what was it? What was it? Cammy called him Rob Jacques. Not realizing that he's just an American. He's not quite as posh as that. So Rob Jacks it is. Johnny Seville saying aim for Mancy, so obviously no love lost there. All good fun in the chat tonight. We're seeing Tom Stocks come to the line. He's dropped to 5th at the moment, so let's see where this puts him in. It puts him 2nd. So a great lap from Tom, but it's still Eli Poe on pole.
Yeah, we've got Hamish Easner up in 6th place, doing well. Driver of E-Team Brit.
Absolutely, and it's is this Hamish's first event with oNiD as well? I think.
I believe it's their 2nd. They did one of the eval races for Mess, as we were using it as practice for the E-Team Brit GT3 challenge at the time.
Ah, I see. Well, it's great to have Hamish along, and 6th place is not a bad place to be right now. What's interesting is if Poe hadn't picked up his penalty, then we could have been looking at a Tom Stocks pole position, right? Oh no, Shipper has jumped up to 2nd and 7 thousandths of a second off of pole. So that is about as close. Oh, hang on a minute.
I was going to say, what's happened to Poe?
Poe be go. Because Tom Stocks is in pole. Now, what has happened here? Are you able to see on the timing screen whether is Poe still in the server?
No. So, not sure. I think that will go down as a disconnect then. Which is a shame. It just destroyed the qualifying session there. So, he's just given Tom a pole position and we're never going to hear the last of it.
No, we're not. And quite rightly so. Because Shipper is back in the pits and Joy is back in the pits. And Tom Stocks celebrating with a spin into the wall.
It looks like he went even quicker.
He did, yeah. So he's pulled another 10th or so. What about Rudolf Stein? What is he still on a lap right now?
That's a good point.
So
Yes.
I believe he was the person that ended up finishing 10th because of Poe's penalty.
So I don't think he'd noticed that he finished 10th. So that would
Yeah.
be why he's done the laps. The admins will, the race organisers will work out what to do with that. Whether to be nice as it's a casual night and they wouldn't have noticed because of Poe's penalty, or to give maybe stop him from qualifying in one of the other races. Unsure, but we'll let them do their thing.
Well, at the end of the day, it is a social tonight, so we're not too sweaty about it tonight. There we go. Tom Stocks. Let me repeat. Tom Stocks on pole position for round 2 of this mini GT4 league tonight. So this is race 2 coming up. And then we go straight to another server for race 3, and then 4, and then 5, and then 6. We will be here quite a while this evening, and you are very welcome along joining us. Only Dave wants to whip out the ban hammer. Well, you're one of the admins, Dave, so you get on it, sir. You ban who you like. I assume you want to drop Stein down from 3rd, but anyway, it's a bit late for that one now, so what we are going to see, though, is Tom Stocks lead the field away. And thank you for the follow. Let's see if I can get this one right. Ide Naru Sentai. Did I do good?
You did your best, and that's all we can ask for.
Thanks, Dad. Brother Simo, good evening. Welcome along. Nice to have you with us tonight. Right. Okay. Maybe it's Senshi, the last bit. It was because it was on 2 lines. Idai, you can tell me whether I did any good with the pronunciation of that one. But he says yes, so we're good. We're good. But welcome along anyway. So, race 2 coming up. Lads, I'm going to ask for your predictions for race winners here. So, Dan, who's going to win this one?
I'm going to put my money on Hamish.
I thought you would somehow. And Ben?
I was going to say Hamish as well, but I'm going to say Wilbert from 6th.
Damn it, I was going to go Wilbert. You know what? I'm going to back him. I'm going to back the man to hold on to it. Go on, Tom Stocks. Let's see what you're made of out there. I'm going to back Tom to bring this one home. Car 16 out there, leading them away, and we are about to go green for race 2. And there we go. We are green. Dave Zalecki back in the pits.
Accidentally pressed the wrong button, as he said in
There's all
chat.
kind of sends into turn 1, but it looked like everyone got away with that. And Tom has dropped the lead to Shipper as we jump further back through the field. Looks like everyone's okay as they head down into Cascades. It's the 10 at the back that you've got to keep your eye on because they are quick guys who will want to find their way through. But it is Shipper out front from Tom Stocks. Stocksy coming under pressure from Rudolf Stein as well. So, yeah, as he said, Dan, Dave pressed the button escape twice, and now he's in the pits. So hopefully Dave can get going, but his race is pretty much run already. As we see Shipper getting it all sideways through that first chicane, and Tom Stocks has got a great run at him now as they come over Hilltop and drop down towards the second chicane. And there is a car off in the background that looked like a Janetta. It was. My guess would be Johnny Ashley, and I was right. A Janetta in the grass. Take a guess. Probably Johnny.
Yeah, it looks like I could see Seville had made up a few places already, up to 20th. Dixon up to 18th. Or
Ian Hall's
19th.
gone with them as well in 19th, yeah. But you'd also watch out for McDonald and Matheson in 16th and 17th. So some of those guys starting to elevate their way through. But yeah, probably the furthest forward of the quick guys is McDonald at the moment. But of course, there's still 8 minutes to go, so anything could happen, and it usually does. And that is Dixon getting up the inside of Jovan Kovacic there, and I think Ian Hall's going to follow through there as well. Old Rolling Thunder is a great driver, but certainly not on the same pace as these guys. But he'll still put up a stiff fight as he did up the inside of Ian Hall into Cascades there. He's not just going to let these guys go through without a fight. Good on you, sir. As that's Jonathan Seville squeezing through as well. Now side by side here, Wilbert Van Oosenen is side by side with Joy, and that one has ended in tears. 2 into 1 was not going to go there, I don't think, Dan.
It certainly didn't. Just going to see a replay of how that started.
We are indeed. So the Aston is Wilbert Van Oosenen, and Joy is the car in front of him. We're actually jumping back to the live action as somebody sends the tyre stack into the Shadow Realm, and we've got all kinds of carnage. That's Ian Hall getting spun round by one of the Pulse Sim Sport guys. And the Pulse car has survived, but Ian in the gravel. So Ian's having a really tricky night already. And that one went all wrong into Knickerbrook. So I think that was Seville up the inside of Hall. It was either Seville or Dixon, but I think that one was Seville.
Yeah, he's had to wait a long time there, but did the right thing and wait for a gap in the traffic. But as we can say that, we can see Mancy's up to 10th and McDonald's up to 12th.
But look at the battle out front. So Tom Stocks now has the fastest lap of the race. Was right on Shipper into turn 1, but just couldn't quite make the move stick. And now he's got to be careful of Rudolf Stein, who's right behind him. So Tom to the inside of this fast left-hander just before Shell Oils. And he is defending hard, which gives Shipper the chance to just get away a little bit at the front and just take a small breather. But none of us called out Shipper as the potential winner, so could we all be wrong?
No, we could, but there looks to be a bit of a queue forming behind Hamish in 5th position now. We've got Jackson, Joy, Rumbout, Mancy, Ingerden, McDonald, Heinrich. They're all within a second of each other, really.
They are indeed. So there is a lovely Hamish train building right there as the McLaren gets a little bit sideways coming into the second chicane and then runs a touch wide on the exit of Knickerbrook, and through goes Dog Juice up into 5th place. So Graham having a really solid night tonight. That is Jimmy Mancy now up in 8th and looking to get himself past Joy. He will probably do a big old dive bomb into Lodge. We're about to find out. You don't get a nickname like Dive Bomb Mancy without chucking one in every now and again, but he doesn't. He holds off.
No,
and
looks like he went to show the dummy and try and get Joy to brake later and run wide on the exit, but it doesn't look to have worked.
not this time around. Tom Stocks is back in the lead. Where's Shipper gone? Shipper gone missing. There he is. So he must have had an incident at turn 1. There was a lot of dust on the exit as well. Ben's going to try and find out what happened for us. Yes, he spun onto the inside and managed to find a nice slot to rejoin in there. Not too bad.
I'm sure he might have
Graham
got
Jackson
help there as
making up
well.
another
I'm not
place.
sure. I'm not sure. There was a little bit there that you might have missed on the stream. That they were very close together. So, oh, the Jimbo dive bomb.
The Jimbo dive bomb live on stream, everybody. Oh, hang on.
We'll have
Yes,
to
that
clip
was
that.
Jimbo. Who was that going off there, though, and just rejoining in what looked to be a McLaren. So we'll find out in a minute who that was. But
Would have been McDonald, I believe.
McDonald was already behind. It was a blue and yellow McLaren that I saw off track, unless I am seeing things again, which is distinctly possible. But Tom Stocks into the lead now, and all of a sudden, Adam's prediction is not looking too shabby. Seville up to 12th, but I would be watching Jimmy Mancy, who has got himself up to 7th, and will now be starting to think about how far up the order he can get. He's got ahead of Shipper, actually, so he's up into 6th. He's about to do Hamish across the line as well, who got out a little bit wide into Lodge. So Mancy goes up to 5th. And you would imagine he could make pretty light work of Graham Jackson. So here's a question, lads. Jimmy Mancy, could he come through and win this? We've only got 2.5 minutes to go, but could he?
I don't think he's quite got enough time. I think if he was up maybe with Jackson now or ahead of Jackson coming onto this lap, with the gap being about 3 seconds, it'd still be a tall order, because you've got 3 cars to catch, and as the late great Murray Walker said, catching is one thing, getting past is another.
He certainly did. What we're looking at here is the battle for second. This is Rudolf Stein just ahead of Rob Jacks, aka Rob the Ace, and Rob trying to put the pressure on the Aston Martin in second. We've now jumped back to Dominic Joy, who has got Matheson right behind him, and then the 2 Pulse Simsport boys of Dixon and Seville. So those 2 back up together, and that's Dixon with,
Looked to be making his own track there.
Yeah, and he is going to wait and let them go. Good man. That's exactly what you want to see. I think he missed his braking point, avoided the accident, and then did exactly the right thing. Oh, it was Seville, actually. So good job, Mr. Seville. And that means that Dixon is up into 10th then, I think. Something like that.
Yeah,
But
10th. He's looking to make the move on Joy, or 9th.
that's why I was hesitating. I couldn't quite work it out. You know what ACC's like. It takes a little while to get itself updated. But right now, Tom Stocks, your race leader, has started his final lap. So Adam's prediction could come right unless Rudolf Stein can close that 1.1 second gap. But look at the two Pulse cars side by side here. Sorry, that's Matheson. Side by side with one of the Pulse boys. But look at these four Ginettas glued together now as they come down out of Cascades and down towards Shell Oils. That is Matheson trying to find a way past Seville, but Seville gets it done around the outside, I think. And ahead of that, you've got Dixon on Joy. But actually, Matheson trying to hold this one out. Great racing from the pair of them. Earlier, we said 2 into 1 don't go, and these two do it right.
Yeah, that's some great side-by-side racing, giving each other fair racing room.
So we see George McDonald to the inside of Shipper. So Shipper had a really good first half of this race, but then has faded towards the end. But Tom Stocks must be getting towards the end of this one now, as we see that bunch of Ginettas all together again. Joy holding on to 9th, and actually Dixon has just got himself passed by Matheson. So Matheson playing really hard with these Pulse Simsport boys, but then runs wide, and both of them get him on the inside through Druids. But this is Tom Stocks, and a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for Tom Stocks, who takes himself a win and takes round 2 of this 6-race series that's all happening tonight. So stay with us throughout the evening for all that action.
Looks like Thunder's managed to get himself a penalty somehow, an SG10.
Yeah, I'm not sure I've seen an SG10 before in ACC. What'd you get an SG10 for?
I think it was a weird one. I think it was a track limits that I saw pop up in the middle of all that frantic action. So I'm not sure why it pulled through at that, but yeah, I think that's what that was for. It must have been because it was on the last lap.
Yeah, well, poor old Thunder picks himself up an SG10. There we go.
So
if any of you guys in chat know why you can get an SG10, then let us know. And there's your confirmation that Tom Stocks helped Shipper on his way. An apology in the chat.
I think that means that Seville is 11th then after all of that. So things looking good for him in the on the championship front then, because I think the furthest up the grid was Jimmy, wasn't it? Mancy was what?
Yeah,
fourth in the end. So
yep. So he now can't qualify for the next one, and this is interesting. Some of the quick guys from race 1 will now be allowed to qualify again for race 3 because they didn't quite make it back into the top 10 in race 2. And if you followed that and my little stream of consciousness, then well done. But I think I made sense then. Yes, Johnny, that was intense. It was indeed. Dan, are you describing me there or the race? Short, sharp, and exciting.
I'm not sure how tall you are, so it could be both.
6'2".
Well, exciting then. That's what can describe you.
Excitable, probably more than exciting, but yeah, there we go. So, what did you think of that one? It's a pretty good race for a 10-minute.
It's very exciting, especially with the faster drivers not being able to qualify and having to make those overtakes that they wouldn't normally have to make to try and get up through the field, and seeing those 4 Ginettas together. It was like watching the unstoppable force and the immovable object, because they're the same car, so they're going to be strong in the same places and weak in the same places.
Yeah, certainly are. So Dave just helping us confirm why the SG10 for Thunder. So we drove straight over the chicane. Good lad. Good lad, Jovan. So there we go. That's why he got the SG10. Yeah, it's just strange. I hadn't seen it before. Jimbo enjoyed that. Now, I'm not surprised because you, sir, made some great progress. Well done. But it does mean that you now get another 10-minute break in qualifying. And that unfortunately just means that you're likely to drink more whiskey. So, yeah, there we go. More whiskey. It's like I can read your mind, which is disturbing. But yeah, he's told us that he gets better as he drinks. So the only way is up, I suppose. Matt's saying more beer. No, I think Jimbo is on the whiskey tonight. And no, sir, I do not want to read your mind. Definitely not. Definitely not. But look, welcome along to oNiD for those of you who are watching us for the first time ever. I know there's probably a few of you that have come across following Jimmy Broadbent's announcement in Gymcord tonight about oNiD taking on the managing of Jimmy's racing on simracing.gp. There was a bunch of different communities who went in for this, and Jimmy decided to choose us to manage his online race calendar going forward. So there is going to be a ton of great events pop up on the Jimmy Broadbent simracing.gp page. So if you're not already on there, get yourself signed up to Jimmy Broadbent on simracing.gp, and yeah, you can come race with us in the future, and Jimmy from time to time as well. Right, let's see who's in the chat. So Dan's gone for some pizza. Hiker's on the chicken nuggets. Turtle said it was going to be chaos. Looks like you were right. Could have been worse, though. Matheson went from the back of the grid to top 10. Wow, indeed, 8R13. Hiker, Hiker's just celebrating the pizza that Dan's going to eat. Very good. Dano, hello, good evening. Nice to see you here. Mr. Gandalf the Gravy, good man. Took the win. I mean, yes, you did have to do it with a little bit of a punt support, but well done all the same, holding on towards the end and taking the win. And you now get a break in qualifying, having finished at the top in that one. Dave's got his band hammer out again. There you go.
He did what I suggested in chat originally because he said who should he aim for at P1, and I said P1, but I actually meant he should take P1 rather than punt them off.
Well, in which case I think we can blame you because you weren't clear enough in your instruction. I think Tom needs clearer instruction. So yeah, there we go. There we go. Look, if some of you are just joining us for the first time, then please hit that follow button on Twitch, but also and Nightbot reading my mind there. Click that YouTube link, go find our YouTube channel, and hit the subscribe, the like, and the bell notification, and all that kind of stuff that you guys all know about anyway. It will really help us out and help kickstart this whole journey with Jimmy. If you don't know anything about oNiD, we have been around for over a year now. We've got about 1,100 members on Discord and rapidly heading up. And we've got plenty of events that we run ourselves. And then we will run the Jimmy Broadbent events alongside our traditional oNiD events as well. Dan, you've been around at oNiD for a while, haven't you?
Yeah, it's been a lot longer than I thought it has been.
You've been here pretty much from the start, haven't you?
I believe that's correct. It's been a good few months at least.
And I think Ben has definitely been here from the start as one of the original founders.
Yes.
Yes, you have. Yes, you have. And I sort of crept in a couple of months after you guys got started, and then just you haven't been able to get rid of me ever since.
No, we have tried, but it just won't leave, ladies and gents.
I'm too heavy to move on, so
Especially
here
at
I
the minute,
am.
you can't,
Well, no, of course, yes. I'm currently known as Adam Pegleg.
exclamation mark peg leg in the chat.
Yeah, thanks for that. Thanks for that. But just trying to figure out when it is I might be able to get back into the rig myself, because watching GT4 racing 2 nights in a row, oh, it's painful. You know how much I love a bit of GT4 action.
Yeah,
So,
and as I've just moved house, I can't get on the rig either. It's still in bits and pieces all over the house, as we've got everything everywhere and still unpacking.
ooh, wow.
So
Wow.
we've got a couple of minutes. So I figured, why don't we go back and look at the race start, but from the back of the grid?
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Because we had Matheson really work his way up through the grid, and he actually started last. So let me just do some magic, and we'll go on board and have a look what it looked like, because I'm sure it was pretty busy.
This is where we see him just part the waves by punting everyone out of the way. I'm sure that's not the case, by the way.
I don't think it is the case, but
it would be amusing all the same. So here we go. Let's take a look. So this is Craig Matheson, who, as you said, started right at the back, having sat qualifying out after being in the top 10 in race 1.
So this is what it's like to be a quicker guy at the back of the field.
I'm used to the back of the field bit, but not the first part. Look at those three wide directly in front of him. It's tricky at that point to know where to go, isn't it? But and that got tight and squeezy through Cascades, but held on nicely. Yeah, he did. That's where Ian went right at that point. Craig doing a solid job. So at the moment in time, he's behind Dixon. He goes to the outside of Dixon into Shell Oils. Be interesting to see if he pulls that one off. I think he's going to, you know.
I think he made it 2 positions doing that.
He did, yes. That was great. And then a good run into the chicane, bouncing over the old sausage. But and there's another 2 places. That's what happened to Johnny. So Johnny had a moment with I think that was the blue and yellow McLaren that I was looking for earlier on in the race as well. Johnny had the moment with. Craig now looking to get past that twitchy McLaren in front of him. That was
George, isn't it?
Yeah, that is George. So
up.
what he's got now is this is Jovan Kovacic directly in front of him in the Porsche. Nice switchback on Thunder. And he's going to send it into Lodge, I'm sure. No, he hesitates actually and lets Thunder take Lodge.
Better of it.
Yeah, discretion, the better part of valor, and all that kind of stuff. But he's now going to get the run into T1. And yes, straight past Thunder that time around.
So he's made up 9 positions in just over a lap.
People talk about Ayrton Senna's first lap at Donington. Well, wow, that one might just compete with it.
It just goes to show though how close it is. It's such a tight track, Alton Park, that if you're starting towards the back and you know you've got the speed over at least a few of the cars in front of you. But he didn't just make the moves past the slower cars, did he? He made the moves past both Pulse cars and caught up George as well, who was further up the grid, and we knew he had pace too. So it just makes it extra impressive at that point.
100%. Now, Ben, if you just carry on chatting for a second, I'm going to go and fix that broken Nightbot command, and I will be back very, very quickly.
All right. Well, we are just booting into the next server. We got Zandvoort, 2 races at Zandvoort. Um, we need to pull up who was in that top 10. Dan, do you have a list of who was in the?
I don't, but I can reel off some from memory.
Yeah, go on.
So we
Let's go.
know, obviously, Stocks was first. Stain was, I believe, Stain was in the top 10. Hamish was in the top 10. Mancy was in the top 10. I should have taken a screenshot. That would have helped a lot more.
So there is definitely a mixture then for this one. We've got a few of the guys that have now been in the top 10 twice, but then we've got people like Jonathan Seville, who obviously won the first race but finished 11th in the second. So he'll be, well, I'd assume he'd be towards the front of qualifying then in this one. So
Yeah,
it should be interesting how that's going to kind of affect, because there are points alongside this. Obviously, it's moving a little bit quickly for us to get the exact championship straight away, but I'm sure before the race start we'll be able to see who's leading the championship after 2 races.
Yeah, I'm just jumping in to see when we can get that information. Round 1 has been updated on SGP, but doesn't give us much until we get round 2 added to it. But in good news, the old exclamation mark merch is working now, so I did a thing.
You did a thing.
I did a thing. Dano wants to know if we're planning to run something on the new cars coming out on the 23rd. Yeah, so those of you who didn't see that, ACC have finally announced when the batch of new cars will be coming. So that is going to be on the 23rd of March. So yes, we will do something for sure. Probably something on both the oNiD side and the Jimmy Broadbent powered by oNiD side. Johnny and I have got a chat tomorrow about the first events that will be coming up on the Jimmy Broadbent side. So stay tuned for information on that. But yes is the short answer. We will do something indeed, because always good to try out the new cars when they come. What one are you guys looking forward to most out of that batch?
Well, that's certainly a tough question, and
I would have thought for you it would have been the Lamborghini machine.
No, I'm not a big fan of the Lamborghini machine. The GT3 is bad enough to drive without going down to the new ST.
I'm quite looking forward to see what the new Ferrari is like.
Yes.
So it's a Ferrari Challenge Cup car, if I'm right, the 488.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, that's it. And that's the one I was looking forward to. I really want a Ferrari event, get a livery done for it as well as soon as. Because the Ferrari was actually the first car that I really used on ACC. The original Ferrari before the Evo, I think it was, and I love that thing. So yeah, I want to see what that one's all about.
Graham Jackson has got a glinting wheel rim that looked like he'd got an LED light implanted in the middle of his front left wheel then. But it was glinting away in the sun at Zandvoort, because that's where we are now. So this is round 3 qualifying. So 10 minutes of qualifying here for these guys. And that will put our grid together for race 3. So the top 10 from race 2 don't get to qualify this time around. Dano's saying the 992 Cup. So I think that's the one he's looking forward to. And he says after running the old Cup car on the Mess League, I kind of enjoyed it. I've still not driven it, you know. I've not. Do you know what? I don't think I've driven any of the Cup or ST cars at all. So yeah, I'll have to give those a go when they come out and when my foot allows me to. Really.
Yeah, from what I've heard about the current Porsche Cup car, it's basically a more slidey version of the GT3 car with a higher top speed, as it's got less downforce.
Porsche and slidey.
And it's got no traction control.
Oh, of course, yeah. Yeah, Dano's right. It really did deliver some great action. Well spotted, Ben. Yeah, old Dog Juice needs to be back in the pits, doesn't he?
We didn't realise that he was in the top 10.
It's all a little bit nosebleedy for him, I think. So, yeah, just didn't realise that. Or probably didn't pay attention to that bit in driver's briefing because he was like, oh, it's about people who finish in the top 10. No need for me to pay any attention to that. There we go. So I'm just having a look to see whether the results from race 2 are up on SGP yet. Yes, they are. So I can bring you the current standings. Your championship leader after 2 races is Jimmy Mancy on 110 points. Jonathan Seville is second on 103. Rudolf Stein is third on 100. Miles Dixon fourth on 96. Matheson fifth on 94. George McDonald sixth on 92. Tom Stocks up in seventh with 81 after that win. Graham Jackson eighth on 80. Rob Jacks is ninth on 79, and Dave Zalecki scrapes into the top 10 on 67. And then your order after that is Dominic Joy, Hamish. Is it Easener? Is that the right way to say it, Dan?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Hamish Easener, then Michael Schipper, Ian Hall, Zach Finney, Tony Ertel, Johnny Ashley, Matthias Heidenreich, Wilbert Van Oosenen, Viardi Romboots, Mr. Shoutin. I won't say your first name because of the amount of times I cock it up and then end up laughing for far too long. Felix Ingerden, 22nd. Eli Poe, 23rd. Then you got Paulis Akula, Jovan Kovacic, Heike van der Veen, Augustus Sablinskas, then Damon Boss and Joe Kronk. I think that's the only guys that have been with us so far. We know we've got Derek Stack is going to come and join us a little bit later on. He's based in the US, so we've got to wait for him to finish work. But D Stack will join us a little bit later on. So Jimmy Mancy leading the championship at the moment. Oof. Wonders will never cease. So Graham is still on track. Graham, get your ass back in the pits, sir. You're not allowed to be out there. Meanwhile,
the admins will be slapping that down the second that they've noticed my message.
They will indeed. In the meantime, Miles Dixon is your current pole man by best part half a second from Eli Poe. And Matheson in third, Dave Zalecki fourth, Ian Hall fifth, Wilbert Van Oosenen is sixth.
I think Matheson is another one that shouldn't be qualifying.
Correct. That is right. Yeah. So. Again, well, maybe you just didn't realise. Yeah, we've let the admins know. So, and here we go.
Yep. So the disqualifications coming in. So who's that gone first?
That was Graham.
That's Matheson has gone as well. I think he was car 15. So yeah, these guys getting admined right now. But Ian Hall has a great shout at a good starting place because he is out on track right now and puts himself up into third. Who's that spinning in a straight line?
That was a tag out the last corner. That was Tony or Turtle. I think he just got loose on the last corner and tapped the wall.
So it's Turtle that's the one in the yellow and blue McLaren then that we saw off track in the last race. At least we finally solved that mystery. It's Turtle.
Yeah, in the 1-2-3 car.
Yeah, Seville goes to the top with a 1:44.9. Dixon second, and then Poe in third. So Seville with a really good lap there.
This seems to be a track that I personally can go well in the Ginetta, so it might be a track that the Ginetta's suited to.
So Meverson in chat asking why car 15 got disqualified. It's because he finished in the top 10 in the last race, so shouldn't have been out there qualifying. He should have been sitting the qualifying out. Same thing with car 75, Graham Jackson. And poor old Dave Zalecki having to sacrifice half of his qualifying just to sit there and disqualify people. It's about time we had ourselves an admin that was fast enough to have been in the top 10. Hey, you should have got Mancy doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got the time sat there drinking his whiskey.
Well, actually, yeah, that's the problem. He'd probably end up disqualifying half the field if he's on his whiskey. So, yeah, probably sensible that Dave did it. Yeah, there you go. Jimbo, busy drinking. Yep, solid excuse. Thanks for that. But what kind of a lap is Dixon on here, Ben? Is he up on his best?
Yeah, he's a long way up, so he's probably going to sneak pole here. With Seville ahead of him going on to another lap, so comes over the line, sneaks it by a tenth. So the Pulse boys again, when they're both in that session, they're both definitely up there on pace.
And I think they've got a good chance of running away with this race. Well, as much as you can run away in a 10-minute race, of course. Yeah, Jimbo said, yeah, if I was doing it, I'd disqualify Miles and Johnny.
I can believe it.
Ah, dear. Well, Felix Ingerden will be the next to cross the line. And he doesn't move up any, unfortunately, but Felix up in 8th, which is pretty solid for one of our rookies from the season that we've just finished. So that's one regular race season that we now have at oNiD Racing. That is our Rookies Championship. That proved very, very popular, not only in terms of the numbers on track, but also the numbers on stream. It was great fun to stream, great fun to watch, really good racing from those guys. So, yeah, get yourselves watching the rookie season when League 2 or Season 2 starts only in a few weeks' time. Tony Ertl almost did an Adam D then and got it completely sideways through the fast right, but he managed to keep hold of it. As we switch to Jonathan Seville coming through the final corner. And Seville will be looking to try and get himself back ahead of Miles Dixon. He runs out a bit wide through that final corner. But here he goes across the line and he is back to the point. Will Miles jump straight back up ahead of him, behind him? No, doesn't look like it. So Seville is now in pole by just under 2 tenths from Miles Dixon. We're watching Felix Ingerden here as he comes through towards the end of this lap. So, Ben, I'm assuming you've jumped to him because he's quite a way up on his best.
Oh yeah, he's 9 tenths up at the minute. It's absolute stormer if he can keep it clean through the last corner. He's just lost a little bit of speed there, but he's still going to come across the line and shoot up the order, so 5th place.
He goes 5th indeed. So, great job from Felix. He's showing some great pace here tonight, and was, if he hadn't have run wide at the final corner, he certainly would have been 4th, because he's only 700ths off of Zach Finney in 4th. So switch to Miles Dixon now. So he's Miles on a good lap.
He's on a lap. He's fluctuating. He's up and then he's down, then he's up again right now. So because he's so close to Jonathan, this should be close then. So he's about half a tenth up. See if he's got anything else in the last couple of corners to, well, I said the last couple of corners, but they got 4 corners left here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see when they update the track layout to match what it is in real life with the banked final corner and the banked turn 4, is it?
Yeah, there's more of a bank on 4, but it's this here, isn't it? The banking was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful to see the F1 cars. He's tried to carry too much speed. Miles, you're on stream. Welcome. It's not often you see him hit the wall.
No.
It isn't often you see him hit the wall.
Goes to show they're pushing hard out there. It might be a social event tonight, but these guys pushing hard. Parkin, good evening, sir. How are we? Nice to have you with us. And once again, I can't repeat the things that Jimbo Mancy is saying in chat. The man is a potty mouth.
He is. Yeah, going back to the final corner, in other sims that have the new layout, in a GT3 car, you can easily go flat out around the final corner. It's made it a bit easier, but it makes more of an overtaking opportunity into T1 because you can get a much longer slipstream. Yeah.
Of course, yeah, because before, quite a few, for those that haven't done it in a GT3, you do have to just give a little bit of a lift to get the turn in, and obviously it's worse in the GT4 car because it's got less downforce. You do have to give it a little bit of a dip on the accelerator to get the nose in to then floor it through. So that would definitely make, well, it's quite difficult to overtake here, isn't it? Sometimes, at least in the GT3s. So I don't think that'll be an issue in the GT4s. As we
And it
saw at
would be
Alton, you seem to be
interesting.
able to just make moves wherever, Adam.
Well, exactly, yeah. But it would be interesting, as Dano says in chat, it would be interesting to see the banking at T3 as well, because you saw some of the guys in F1 running up high there, some of them staying low. You could get the slingshot round the outside, so that would be interesting as well. But it's not just Zandvoort where we want to see the new layout in action, but obviously there's a lot of updates to Spa this year as well. It'd be great to see those reflected as well. And there's another track in ACC I'm trying to think of that needs a big old update as well, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, be lovely to see some of these updates come to the tracks as well as some new tracks, please. Kunos, that would be very nice. Thank you.
Yeah, hopefully the tracks come soon. I think there's quite a few tracks on here, but you do find that at least some of the like public lobbies and things like that pretty much stick to the same sort of tracks. I mean, we do throw in some random things. Monza and Spa, yes. We do like to throw in random tracks that maybe don't see the light of day as much as we feel they should. Zandvoort being one of those, so.
Indeed. So Seville leads us away then. So the two Pulse Sim Sport guys are 1 and 2 on the grid for this race 3. Seville, Dixon, then Poe, then Finney, then Ingerden, Hall, Zalecki, Van Oostenen, Turtle, Heidenreich, Shoutin, Ashley, Akula, Kovacic, Van der Veen, Mansi, Stain, McDonald, Jacques, Isner, Joy, Shipper, and then a few more below that I can't see. But we are about to go racing for the 3rd time out 6 tonight with these Pulse Sim Sport boys leading the way. So we're waiting for that green light, which should come anytime now. There it is. And we are green, green, green and away. Dixon tucked straight in behind, but it's these 4 next in line that could be interesting. Poe runs deep and there is contact there. So I think Poe got into the back of Dixon, but we also had a number of other cars getting into each other into T1, and it's not over yet because there's contact all over the place, and that is Poe off. And what a rejoin that was.
Rejoin.
And we have got
that was not the rejoin.
Carnage out there. We've got absolute carnage through turns 1 and 2. Things calming down a little bit through 3, but there's going to be a bunch of guys with some serious damage. Eli Poe being one of them, worst affected, as we pick up Dave Zalecki, who's got himself up to 3rd in all of that, but with Tony Ertl directly behind him. So Dave has come off well off the back of that and could find himself in a very handy podium position.
Yeah, Dano put in the chat that it's Barcelona that needs the layout update.
Thank you, Dan. You're absolutely right. Yes, it is. Yes, that was the other one I was thinking of. Now, Jimmy Mansi has got up to 8th already, so he's obviously managed to avoid the carnage in the first half of lap 1 as well. So Mansi doing a great job, up to 7th now. So
7th from 16th. He, I think he managed to get in the server quite early, so that meant he was one of probably the highest non-qualifier to start on the grid.
And of course, it's a real wounder for those that got disqualified from qualifying, because those guys automatically go right to the very back of the grid. But that's what you get for not paying attention in driver's briefing, I suppose. As Janice Shoutin is 16th in the Aston Martin, and
Oh,
we've got a car round there, so that's a Camaro. I think that must be a Cooler. And there was more contact going into turn 3 there. And it's Felix Ingerden who's facing the wrong direction. So I think it was Ingerden that was the other car that was involved in a lot of the incidents with Poe. But that is a pretty big dive up the inside of, I think that was Shipper, if I remember liveries correctly at this stage. But, meanwhile, Seville is a huge distance ahead of Dixon, who is a huge distance ahead of Zalecki, who's a fair chunk ahead of Tony Ertel, I think.
Who has who had the fastest lap?
He did, yeah.
Like
so
it's changed.
So Ian Hall now right on the back of Tony Ertel. Of course, this will be the first lap where we really get to see the fastest laps laid down. So you can imagine that purple is going to go straight to Jonathan Seville this time around. That is Mansi in the background, making a move on Wilbert Van Oostenen. Gets past, up into 6th. He will now set off after Hall and Turtle and Zalecki. I think Mansi will probably be targeting a 3rd here. 6 minutes 20 to go.
I think he will be. He seems to be a man on a mission tonight.
He is indeed. It's that whiskey working wonders as we see Matheson alongside the big boss man, Johnny Ashley, into turn 1. Oh, man. Johnny, that's 2 punts in 2 nights caught live on stream.
He's been reading my playbook too much.
Where's Dave's banhammer when you need it? Now, he was defending hard on Matheson on the inside and just concentrating too hard on that one, I think. So, who's that he's hit?
It was Heidenreich, I think.
Yes, yep, I think so. Yes,
Yeah.
It was 100%. It was Heidenreich. As we see a McLaren going bumping across there, and that's Hamish having a big crash. That is not the place that you want to lose control of your car around Zandvoort, that's for sure. But Hamish gets going again. 5 minutes 10 to go, and Dominic Joy to the inside of. I don't think that is Shipper. No, it's Shouting.
That's Shouting, yeah.
Getting done by Joy there. So Joy finds himself up into the top 10. Matheson's done well again, up into 9th. Mansi has just stalled out a little bit in 6th, but how close is he getting to Ian Hall now? That close is the answer. So Ian Hall right within his sights, but we know that BMW is quick in a straight line, don't we, Ben?
Oh yes, I've stared at the rear bumper of that Beamer far too much in the last few weeks, so watched it disappear away.
Tony Ertel being pretty
just a bit late on the brakes.
And Ian Hall's done a Johnny Ashley into turn 1 and hits the back end of
I think
Turtle.
he's gonna let him go.
Yeah, Mansi gets them both. So Mansi now up through
that's
into
very wide.
4th place. So Jimmy just thought all of his Christmases came at once then, as the 2 of them parted in front of him. But he will now set off about chasing down Dave Zalecki.
Yeah, it was like Moses parting the seas then. Just managed to walk straight through the middle.
It was indeed. Now, Heidenreich trying to recover from his Johnny Punt. He's down in 21st. I suppose the good news is that he will probably get to qualify next time around. But that is small
crumb of comfort.
Thank you. That's it. Why couldn't I think of the word crumb? Normally anything food related, and I'm right there, but not tonight. So Mansi has got quite the gap to close down on Dave Zalecki, so I think 4th might be all he can manage this time around. He's got 3 minutes to go, but close down 4+ seconds on Dave Zalecki in a GT4 is a hard ask, because Dave knows how to drive a GT4 as well, doesn't he?
He certainly does, and it's very interesting to see the Ginetta going very well in all 3 races so far.
Yeah, the Ginetta a popular choice tonight, but also I think Zandvoort is probably a good Ginetta track, and you're right, it's first, second, and third at the moment, so good to see.
I thought Erta was going to return the favour there to Ian, but he just about got out of it, didn't he?
He did. Ian must have been a little bit concerned heading into the braking zone. As we see Shoutin now getting pretty close to the back of Dominic Joy. Van der Veen and Stein into the pits, so they must have picked up some damage that is too much to cope with. So they're both into the pits. As we see Shoutin looking for a way past Joy at this stage. Meanwhile, Seville continues to lead from Dixon, so I think Seville will probably find a way to take this one. And we've got a stop and go penalty for Rudolf Stein, so he's night going from bad to worse.
Now, is it stop and go for speeding on entry or speeding on exit? I can never remember which way round it is.
No, I can never remember either, so you've asked the wrong person.
I think it's stop go 30 on entry and then drive through on exit. But
I was going to say the other way round.
But from what I remember, I've only ever had SG30s, and as far as I remember, I've only sped on entry.
Yeah, they did tighten it up a lot after one of the more recent updates as the leader starts their final lap. We are looking at Rob Jacks on George McDonald here. So Rob looking for a way past. I thought McDonald was going to cut his nose off there, but Rob does a good job to stay out of that one. And these two carry on. Here's Dog Juice trying to find a way through from the back. He's got past a bunch of guys, and now Felix Ingerden is next on his list. Ingerden running with more damage than a banger car at this moment in time. As we see Rob getting closer and closer to McDonald once again. Rob really enjoyed his GT4 action last night. Had some great battling with Willie and Johnny, but that
he's gone very
is
deep.
not the breaking point there, Rob. So unfortunate for Rob, but he messaged me earlier saying just how much he enjoyed his GT4 action last night, and I'm not surprised. There was some humdingers of battles going on involving Rob last night. So these GT4s produce some great on-track action. Meanwhile, Seville must be getting pretty close to the race win. And he's got just a couple of corners to go as he exits the chicane pin. So I can't remember who called it that, but I liked it.
Yeah.
Because it is a chicane that turns into a hairpin. So
we've got 5 of the top 10 are Ginettas.
Wow.
So
yeah.
Domination.
It's a good car to pick tonight.
And Jonathan Seville does take the win. It would have been interesting had Mr. Broadbent been able to join us after all, because he was signed up in the Ginetta as well. So it would have been interesting to see how he got on. It is a Ginetta 1, 2, 3, Seville, Dixon, and Zalecki. Then Mansi comes through in 4th. Great result for him. And then you've got Ian Hall, Wilbert Van Oostenen, Zach Finney, Craig Matheson. And then I think it's going to be Schipper will come across the line in 9th anytime soon. There he is, and then Joy rounds out the top 10. So the first of the guys that will be able to qualify next time around will be Shouted.
And then our very own Johnny Ashley in 12th.
Indeed. So could Johnny be in for a good result this time around? No.
Why not? I mean, he does like Zandvoort. To be fair, he does like Zandvoort, and the Ginetta looks pretty handy. So
absolutely,
I think Zandvoort's one of his favourite tracks, isn't it? So
yeah.
Do you know what? Zandvoort was the first. Oh no, it was the first place I ever drove in an oNiD race. It was a Saturday social. If you remember those days, Ben.
Oh yes, I do. Still got the scars.
There wasn't so many of us that day. I think we did Laguna Seca and Zandvoort, and I'm pretty sure it was in GT4s. And I had an absolute blast and really enjoyed myself. It was my first time racing on ACC, and absolutely loved it. And like I said earlier, you haven't got rid of me since.
No.
Well, I can say Zandvoort's probably one of my favourite tracks. So that's where I took my first win on ACC in one of the evaluation races for the Rookie League.
Well, there you go. Jimbo Mansi saying he's tainted by fourth. Is that his third fourth in a row? No, I don't think it is it?
I can check the results.
I'm looking at the results now as we speak. So in race 1, he finished fourth. And then in race 2, he finished fourth. Yeah, so he's had 3 fourths now. So good job, Jimbo. Maybe you need your 4th glass of whiskey. Oh, Johnny Ashley. Or sorry, no, hang on a minute. Let me say it correctly. Johnny Puntarilla.
Yeah, I came in like a wrecking ball into turn 1.
I assume it was must not let this guy pass. Must not let this guy pass. Defend. Oh, hang on a minute. There's another car there.
Yeah, I totally missed my breaking point. Luckily, I was in chat with Matthias as well, so when I killed him, he was like, "Don't worry, it's fine." We all survived and we all got to finish the race. It's all good.
What, before you even apologised? He was like, don't worry, it's fine.
No, I was shouting, "I'm sorry!"
Johnny, are you having fun?
Yeah, it is. It's good. It's a good crack, yeah. I've had to move some of the bits around. I've got Steve at SGP on hand to move some of the events around because there's a little bit too much of a gap. But apart from that, it's great fun.
Well, apparently, Johnny, it
Yes.
was pure filth, and even Wreckfest would have given you a drive-through for that.
Yeah, it's probably true. I thought I was on that lawnmower.
or on the sofa.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
So the sofa is my favourite. Oh, Jimbo's fallen foul of the updated rule for the first time. Because, Johnny, I finally added the correct spelling to Nightbot. And so that means the No Johnny rule is a genuine No Johnny rule now.
Nice.
And Jimbo's fallen foul of it. But look at this absolute carnage at the beginning of the race. So, yeah, Poe, and I think that is Ingadon, and then Poe's rejoin. I am sorry, but that was probably one of the worst rejoins I've seen.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
But hey, it shook the field up a little bit for the race, so there we go. And
yeah, no, it's been good fun. Has it been fun to watch? That's the main thing.
Do you know what? It is. Yes, it's a little bit mental to keep up with for just 10-minute races. But yeah, no, it is really good racing, and it's great fun watching the quick guys come through from the back, which I think we will get ourselves again this time around. But Mr. Jimbo Mansi has finished fourth, and fourth so far.
It's good work.
Yeah, if he can finish fourth in every race, he's probably going to take the championship.
Ben, what are we watching here? Is this
This is just like what we did for the last one then. So we're just I've just hopped on board with George this time. Because Matheson was further back, but I didn't really want to highlight him 2 times in a row. So we'll give someone else the spotlight and see what it looks like with someone who had the faster pace and was towards the back. Although we did see that he had some damage later on. But
Jimmy Mansi might be interesting as well, because he came through like in 8th at the end of the first lap. So in fact, that's Jimbo directly in front in the blue and yellow Porsche. So see how he gets through directly in front as well. Yeah, McDonald. Yeah. So McDonald just got himself into a sneaky sandwich there, and there wasn't a lot he could do about that, I don't think. But then he comes through to find some more carnage, and then can get himself going again. But look how many cars there are. side by side, coming up through the ridiculously fast section of Zandvoort. Can we go right back to the start with Jimbo? And yeah, perfect. So let's go on board with Jimmy and see how he gets on, because we know that he started 16th, and I think, if memory serves correct, he came through in about 8th, about halfway through the lap, and then got himself.
Yeah, I
up.
think he finished the lap in 7th.
Yes, that's right. He took a place across the line, didn't he?
Yeah.
To make it another one. I'm also doing the big refresh on SGP to see when the standings update. That's a good move up the inside into T1. Is that you there, Johnny? Yes, it is.
What we're doing now?
No, we were just watching. Wow! How he's got away with that on the grass.
Rallycross driver.
Oh,
Gets
and he
the wall
was
as well.
whiskers away from
He
being
had to,
completely
he had to
wiped
dodge
out
it, didn't
that
he? He
time.
had to kind of shuffle off to the right of the track because of everything that was coming on from the track on the left. So he's done really well then, given he's probably got not too much damage from that, but still picked up a bit there.
Yeah, Ben,
Yeah,
that's
he's
your
put in the
third
chat.
quality night of, that's your third quality word of the night, shufty.
Shufty.
Yeah, love it. Absolutely love
I don't
it.
even know how to
But,
spell shufty. Anyway.
I'm going to guess SHUFTY.
Oh, someone's just gone off in front. That's a bit of Oh.
Oh, that's, is that the car that Johnny punted in the end? No, it wasn't.
I didn't punt anyone.
Yes, you did. You punted Heidenreich into the Shadow Realm.
Absolutely. It wouldn't be right if I didn't shadow realm someone.
Welcome to oNiD, everyone.
So yeah, Jimbo's in the chat. He said he had to avoid the Merc and got 9 seconds of damage.
Eep.
Oh, that's nothing in a GT4. You'll be fine. They're sturdy.
Right. He clearly was. He managed to finish in 4th.
Yeah. Yeah, they're a lot sturdier than the GT3s. I think it's usually about what, 15 plus seconds, and then you really start noticing it.
Eep.
Yeah, they can take a few more whacks than the GT3s. They're less aero sensitive.
Just realised I could have done something really sensible, and I could have actually been watching your stream full screen, really, couldn't I, Ben?
Have you not been watching the stream? Full screen even?
No.
Oh, dear
Yeah.
me.
Like an
Well,
absolute fool.
I haven't been either because I'm only on. The only thing I've got unpacked is my laptop. So I've got Twitch chat on half the screen and the stream on the other half of the screen.
I can never remember how to do it.
The Monster, thank you very much for the follow there. Welcome to the stream.
Oh no! Oh no! Get out of here! Get out!
Oh
Evening.
no. I'm going to go and have a break.
That's not very nice, is it?
That was nice as it gets.
You can take your pictures back if you're going to be like that.
That didn't sound dodgy at all, did it?
That does sound a bit weird, doesn't it?
Not at all.
Yeah.
Well, you want to hear what we've just been talking about in the chat?
No, Johnny,
no,
no,
not really.
no. It's 9:05. Go for it. Channel 4 would have found that acceptable from 7 PM.
As long as it was part of an educational program, of course.
There was nothing educational about this.
No.
No.
How's it going anyway? How are you enjoying the mayhem?
It's been fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
It's good fun.
I'm just
It's
really
just-
struggling to. Why can't I get this to go full screen? Jesus.
It's just something completely different from what we usually do.
Yes. Yes.
So
I think we were very impressed, Jimmy, with your dive bomb legit pass at Alton Park in race 2.
Oh, and the hairpin.
Yeah, it was very nice. Yeah, it was a dive, but it was well executed. Now
Yeah,
ask Johnny how well he executed turn 1 at Zandvoort.
I've been in the chat hearing him saying that he's killed everyone every race. So.
One race.
How was it Alton Park? Alton Park was just F for you, F for you, F for you. And then I just heard Johnny go, "Oh, I've killed everyone."
To be fair, it was similar to that. I was nearly verbatim actually. I was doing my best Oprah impression. Death for you, death for you.
I have checked Discord settings, but I don't have the authority to change Johnny's name to Dive Bomb. So if Adam, you want to just do that at some point. Yeah.
No, I don't think even I have the permissions for that, because you notice there is one step above community manager, and that is community owner. Yeah, I think he is the man with all of the power.
He's big time now, isn't he? Posted in Jim Cord.
He did, yes, yeah. He did.
I had a little fangirl moment. I was like, oh, I know him.
Swiftly followed by the word, unfortunately.
Yeah, absolutely. There we are.
Absolutely.
I'm going to throw that in and I'm going to go back now. But yeah,
I'm going back as
enjoy.
well.
I'm going to see what happens this race. They are getting more difficult with the more whiskey that I drink, for sure.
Well, go drink some more then.
I am going to. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. What have we done to deserve a community owner that punts people and an admin that just drinks too much whilst doing a social event, hey?
They certainly had some colour to oNiD.
By the way, if any of you are tuning into oNiD for the first time, I was actually about to say we're not normally like this, but actually we're always exactly like this. This is what oNiD's like. We like it to be a fun place to race as well. Wow, up on two wheels, good job, Akula. But yeah, oNiD is all about the fun as well as the racing as well. We know how to do serious racing, well organised stuff as well, but we do like to have fun along the way. Yeah. You will generally hear that kind of banter from us, that's for sure. Now, I'm just hitting the refresh button again. No, we haven't got the first Zandvoort results up yet, so I'll keep looking out for those, though.
Oh, that's very sideways in the NASCAR.
It is. Now, that thing is not easy to drive.
No, but it is great off a rolling start. If you get the car on the speed limit as you're coming up to the green light, and you can get your foot down quick enough, you can make one or two places up on a track like this coming down the start finish straight.
Like, you certainly can. That and the BMW as well. The BMW and GT4 is just ridiculous in a straight line.
Yeah, and the Ginetta, it driving that, it's like having a parachute behind the car. So
well,
they're
years old, isn't it? Bless.
Yeah, the Ginetta drivers are probably going to suffer down the back straight at Mazzano.
I should imagine they will, but they dominated race 1 here. Let's see what they can do in race 2 at Zandvoort. So this is race number 4 out of 6 tonight. We're doing well. We're ploughing through these nicely, and only those who finished outside of the top 10 in the last race get to go out for qualifying this time around. So where did George McDonald finish in the last one?
So 14th.
That's outside the top 10. Good stuff.
Yep. So we've got Seville, Dixon, Selecki, Mancy, Hall, Ossinan, Finney, Matthijssen, Schipper and Joy, who can't qualify for this race.
No Joy for Joy.
No, not this time.
Not this time at all. So I will bring you the updated championship standings as soon as we get them. So everything just being calculated in the background by SGP. If you've never used simracing.gp before, it's the platform that oNiD has been running our community on for quite some time now, and has been fantastic for us. And this is where it's also on SGP, where we will manage the Jimmy Broadbent powered by oNiD Racing events as well. Matty Biscuit 92 with a great name and a follow. Thank you for that. We've still got F's next to everyone who follows. Is F for follow?
Well, F was for F's in chat, but we can also have it for follower. Maybe I'll change it for the next one.
Yeah, 'cause everyone who's like new is just getting F. F.
Well, it's because they don't know what they're getting into.
Well, that is true. That is true. Although tonight might just be giving a little sneak preview of that, of course. So Captain Iron Balls.
I've just noticed that someone looks to be out the pits that shouldn't be, which is Seville.
Oh, is he? No, he's all right.
No.
He's showing
Is
his
he
out
just-
the pits, but he's
Is he just
sat
doing
at the demo.
donuts in the pits or something?
No idea, but at least he's not out on track, so he's okay.
Oh, he said,
Probably
I
clicked
would
drive
never,
and
I would
left-
never,
left
he
it
says
there.
in chat. So these guys that did finish outside of the top 10 in the last race are qualifying away, and we're looking at Heike van der Veen right now, one of our oNiD favourite regulars here in the not go-kart racing, because he's just finished the GT4 league with us, driving the KTM, which we all lovingly refer to as a go-kart. So he's quite happy to ditch that one tonight, and he's switched to the BMW.
Me and Dave might be the only two people that love the KTM. I don't think anyone else likes it, but we absolutely love it. It was the first GT4 that I used because I loved that car. And it's slow in a straight line. It's not got great corner speed, and it's not a fantastic overall car, but it's great fun to drive. So, but I can see why people don't like it because it's not that quick, and that's probably why we haven't got any in here tonight. I think it's by far the best car on the brakes, and that's about all it's got. So,
Ladies and gents, let me just get
Already
rid
done.
of. Oh, you've already done it.
Yeah,
Right on it.
we were racing each other to do that then.
Yeah. Yeah, and actually, Dave says, ironically, Alton and Zandvoort are its best tracks. So why didn't you choose it, Dave?
KTM fan club.
Yeah. Although, you know, it's oh, there we go. Johnny Sev and Miles Dixon like it as well. So yeah, it's not completely on your own.
Yeah,
George
I
McDonald
thought they
goes.
would say not because of they didn't pick
yeah.
it because of Misano. It'd be terrible down that back straight.
Well, actually, originally he didn't pick it because of Miscano, but he did correct himself. George McDonald goes to the point, by the way. 1.1 clear of Felix Ingerden, and then Rob Jacks, Matthias Heidenreich, and then Hamish Eisner and Heike van der Veen. So, yeah, that's a fair old gap for George at the moment. But Tom Stocks puts himself onto the front row. So could Tom Stocks go outside of top 10, win, outside of top 10, win, outside of top 10, win tonight?
He
Certainly
do.
could.
I don't know how the Alpine would be here. I'd assume it'd be pretty good because it's a very good overall, isn't it? And that's kind of where the tracks are gearing towards tonight. So
It's just having the luck of Ocon at the minute, you could say.
See if he can sneak a Hungaroring.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought we were going to be referencing Interlagos with Max.
We're watching Felix Ingerden right now, who is currently feeling quite embarrassed because he's right behind Johnny Ashley, and that's
He's
generally
not
a
going
position
to be
be
for
embarrassed
long.
Ah, good man, Felix. So yeah, Johnny can't be up in fifth. That would make him far too happy. So Felix goes second and only a couple of tenths off of McDonald as well. So Ingerden was quick in the original qualifying for the last race at Zandvoort, but then got caught up in issues, let's say. Rob Jacks jumps up to sixth, so Johnny is quickly tumbling down the order, down to seventh now.
Poe's up in third, so hopefully can have a better start to the race.
Well,
than
the only thing that
last
concerns
race.
me is that Poe and Ingerden are right next to each other again.
I'm sure they'll be a little more careful this time because
Well, let's
I
hope
think
so.
the actual off looked a bit of a 50-50. I think it was the rejoin that wasn't great, but the actual contact, etc., wasn't really anyone's fault. It was two cars trying to go into one corner at the same time, and which is always an issue here because of the way the track tightens up after that really wide first corner. It really does get quite snug through 2 and 3, and then into 4 as well. So a little bit of rubbings, racing's kind of expected at that point, isn't it, through there? Because it can be quite tight.
Ben, you're on it with the vocabulary tonight. Snug. What a word.
Snug. Is this you trying to get me to do commentary? I'm trying to get the commentary ready for the next GT4 season because I know I'm doing it.
Well, yeah. I mean, God knows how much longer it'll be before I can actually drive again. But yeah, I can't commentate every night. Well, I could. I've got the mouth for it.
Well, you could join me in on the GT4 streams, as I'll be doing it by myself. Or I might ring Cammy.
Yeah, I don't know when I'm going to have my streaming rig or my racing rig set up. It's now I've got to remember because technically it'll be in the basement, but there's different sections of the basement and they've all got different names. So there's the coal cellar, there's one that's called the stables because it used to be a stables. There's the garage, which is now not a garage.
Bigger than my entire street.
Sounds like your basement's bigger than my entire house.
It's quite a big basement. There's even a conservatory down there, which is going to confuse you quite a bit.
Gonna pretend that I'm not jealous, don't you, about you, Adam?
Made my brain freeze with conservatory in the cellar.
So the way the house was built, it's next to a canal, and the canal was built to the house. So they've built up the side of the canal, which means the first floor of the house is now technically underground at the front, but at the back of the house where the conservatory is, it's above ground. If I've explained that well enough.
Boom! That's the sound of my brain exploding right now. One day, I'm sure you can share some pictures with us or something like that.
Once we've unpacked and tidied everything up.
Yeah, well, we're currently watching Graham Jackson, who I think is having a really solid night tonight. Graham's improved loads over the past year, especially in AC events on a Monday night. Because when we had those NASCARs out, this man was rapid and gave us a really hard time in the NASCARs. But right now we've got McDonald from Poe, then Ingerden, Stocks, Stain, Jax, Ashley, Shoutin, Jackson, Heidenreich, Isner, Akula, Van der Veen, and that is Yalot. Because everyone else is banned from qualifying this time. After finishing in the top 10 last time around. Jax is 6th after that one. Pick up Rudolf Stein, which I would suggest means that he's on a good run. Is he, Ben?
He was. He's just lost a little bit out of the last the last penultimate corner, I guess, into the last corner. He's going to be a little bit quicker, but not enough to improve. Tom's not improving either. I think the only person improving at the minute is Heidenreich, who's halfway through the lap and 2/10 up. So we'll pick up his lap in the NASCAR.
In the NASCAR, the tricky beast, and this is the man who fell foul of Johnny's front bumper in the last race. Poor man. I've been there many a time myself before, Matthias. In fact, I'm sure most of us have been there at some point or another on the receiving end of a Johnny punt. So come join the club. And, you have our sympathies, my friend. But let's see what he can do this time around. Currently 10th. Looking to improve on that. He's going to have to find at least 4/10 though to move up even one place. So is he doing that at the moment, Ben?
He's a 10th up still, and there was a good exit for him as well. So he's just getting a bit faster as well.
He's going to need a lot through these final 2 corners though to threaten Dog Juice up in 9th. Let's see how he gets on through this final corner. So he is literally the only car we are waiting for to finish, and then we will jump straight to the grid. And Heidenreich stays 10th. So there we go. Your top 10 is McDonald, Poe, Ingerden, Stocks, Stain, Jax, Ashley, Shoutin, Jackson, and Heidenreich. You then, after that, got Hamish Eisner, Akula, then Van der Veen, Dixon, Seville, Zalecki, Van Oosenen, Zach Finney, Schipper, Mansi, Joy, and Matheson. That's interesting that that Dixon and Seville have got themselves up together in 14th and 15th there. So, yeah, they're in a good spot for those trying to come through having not been qualifying.
Yeah, Mansi's down in 20th for this race. So he's got a few extra spots to make up than he did for the previous race here, where he started 16th.
Indeed, but as we saw in the last race, anything can happen through that first sector at Zandvoort, and quite often does. So hopefully it's a little bit plain sailing, a bit more plain sailing than the last race, but you never know. Anything could happen, and quite often does. So, go on, chaps, let's get some predictions from you guys. Ben, who's going to win this one?
I think George has got this one. I think he got caught up in a bit of shenanigans at the second corner before, and still managed to come through 15th or whatever it was. So, and he put in a good lap in qualifying. So, I think he'll get this one.
Dan?
I'm going to go left field and go for Johnny Ashley. I think he's going to punt his way to the front.
I mean, there's left field, and then there's I've just fallen over, hit my head, and said Johnny Ashley's going to win. But I am going to go with Felix Ingerden. The man's got some good pace there. So,
well, I would say that the Pulse guys, Seville and Dixon, were so much faster than the field in that first race that they might get past, especially if there's some shenanigans towards the front, they might get through and have the pace to catch up. We haven't actually seen that yet, have we? We haven't actually seen one of the back non-qualifiers make it to the top 3 yet, so this could be the first race where it happens.
It absolutely could. Well, I tell you how to find out, and that is by watching, because we're about to go racing for the 4th time tonight. This is race 4 of 6. This is the final one at Zandvoort. We go to Misano after this, and we are waiting for the green light. There it is, and we get going, and that was a good start by McDonald, but Poe slips in behind, and Ingerden looking to try and get to the outside of Poe. Sim curves with the follow. Thank you for that. Now, this is a bit worrying that Ingerden and Poe are so close together, as they were in exactly this position last time around. But Ingerden round the outside. Is he going to do McDonald as well? No, not quite. He tries to tuck back inside, has to check up a bit. And Poe now goes back to the outside, and there is a touch more contact between Poe and Ingerden, and another tap as well. But apart from that, we seem to be fairly safely through.
It looks like they were playing bumper cars there.
Yeah, it was bumpity bump all the way through, but Ingerden did get himself up into second. The question is, who's got the pace?
Got Dixon up to 7th if the timing board is correct, just ahead of Johnny Ashley.
He is indeed. So that's a really good start from Dixon. As we see Akula making a bit of a move on Johnny in the background, but Dixon is now one to watch as he goes up the inside of Jax, who's run wide into the gravel. So that is Dixon now up into 6th, and he's very quickly going to get Stain in 5th. So yeah, Miles Dixon racing up through this field, and is not a huge distance behind the overall leaders here. He's to the inside for the chicane. Oh, they both brake very late.
Johnny going to get back past.
And Stain rejoins safely, and Johnny makes up a position as a result. Doesn't get Dixon as well, but probably Johnny wasn't trying to really. He'll now happily sit behind him.
He's got Seville just behind him as well.
He has, and Seville gets a good run out the final corner. Look at Dixon tucking to the inside. Seville now picking up a slipstream from his teammate to try and drag him past Ashley. Gets that one done. I don't know if that was... Oh, and Dixon runs wide into turn 1 and Seville gets him straight away. And now Ashley to the inside. This is going to become the inside line into turn 2.
Was that
Johnny
karma?
makes a move on Dixon.
I think that was karma for helping his teammate get past Johnny there. Because obviously he pulled across to kind of cover the inside, but also kind of give the toe. And yeah, just maybe he had marbles on the tyres, a bit far on the right-hand side of the track, but yeah, just outbrakes himself.
So now the one we're looking at is Jonathan Seville, a little bit more than Miles Dixon. So Seville up into 5th, and it'll be interesting to see how quickly he catches Tom Stocks. Dixon to the inside of Ashley. And that's nicely done through a tricky part of the track to get an overtake done, but the two Ginettas fighting away there.
Mancy's just gone into the pits.
Now, oh, Mancy, yeah, you're absolutely right, into the pits. That does not look like a fourth to me.
No, it doesn't. Maybe he's taken some damage.
Must be a return to garage, I think, as well, because he just suddenly popped into the pits, didn't he? So
yeah,
that's one to pick up at the end of the race.
He's still showing part way through the field. Will start to drop down as everyone goes through the timing zone, or the next timing zone, I should say. So McDonald leads from Ingerden. Ingerden not a huge distance behind at this stage of the race. 6.5 minutes to go. If you're just joining us, this is...
that's very wide.
Ingerden gets away with that. As I say, if you're just joining us, this is a special race night here at oNiD. This is Jimmy Broadbent powered by oNiD, our first ever event under Jimmy's name. There'll be plenty more to come in the future. This one, a 6-race social championship, as Johnny loses another position there to Rudolf Stein into turn 1.
And where we were looking at from the end of the start-finish straight, you could see the Pulse cars looming in the background as we were following the leaders.
Yeah, and in fact, so Seville right up with Stocks already. He's going to get past Stocksy. Next one up in the green Mercedes, that is Eli Poe. So he'll be looking to make a move on Poe as quickly as possible as well. And then it becomes a case of chase the leaders. But right now, this is the battle for 3rd. Poe against Seville. I don't think Poe's going to give this one up as easily as some of the other guys have. And Stock's going with them as well. But this is bringing Miles Dixon back into the action as well. This fight is allowing Miles to catch right up with his teammate. But Seville looking for a safe way to get past Eli Poe. Will he go for a send into the chicane? We're on board with him.
He has.
He does go for Poe.
Poe just moves across in the braking area there.
That was yeah, and then just carries on like nothing's happened. So yeah, Eli, that's interesting. I think Jonathan was he wasn't fully alongside, but he was alongside enough that you don't close that door. I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, he was alongside enough to be left some racing room. Now, is Eli going to let him through?
Don't know as if he is. No, he's defending heavily into turn 1. Yep. So Seville having to look for a way past. Poe determined to keep hold of that 3rd place. And look at Dixon looming large in the mirrors of Seville now. Seville to the outside. This is where he could do with that banking for the slingshot. He's out into the marbles, and that allows Dixon to the inside. So these two are going to go side by side through the quick S's up here, and that could end in tears if these two teammates don't play nicely up here. So far, so good, though. They know each other well. And that is Seville to the inside, holding the position. So Dixon doesn't get through. And now he's got to chase Poe back down again. Gap out front is about 0.7 of a second. This is where all your action is right now. So Seville to the outside of Poe. And there's more contact. Wow, what a save from Seville. That one gets a flash from Seville, but I'm not sure Poe did much wrong that time around.
No, that definitely wasn't as bad as last time, but from what I found driving the Ginetta, it is one of the easier cars to catch when it's in a slide.
Yeah, well, we did the whole Ginetta Championship not so long ago. Poe off again at the chicane, outbraking himself. trying to hold on to the position, and this time Seville does get through. So I don't think Poe's alongside enough to challenge into the penultimate corner, and he's not. So Dixon will now have to try and find a way past Eli Poe as they round the final couple of corners and on to the start-finish straight. And Dixon straight to the inside. Poe moves
Tried
across.
to close the door there and spun himself out and done more damage to himself than anything else. And then he's closing the door on someone else.
I'm not
that's
sure Poe's
staying.
I'm not sure Poe's ever raced with this before, but yeah, some interesting tactics going on this evening. So Seville up into third then. What's the gap between second and third? It's about 6.5 seconds.
I think.
Yeah,
so I think your top two are safe. It's where the third and fourth change now for the top four, and whether Poe gets passed by anyone else, because there's a few cars close in behind.
So interestingly, so Jonathan Seville is the championship leader after 3 rounds. Obviously, this is the 4th round with 178 points. Jimmy Mancy was second with 165. Miles Dixon third on 162, and then Matheson fourth on 134. That'll all start to change around. George McDonald will pick up some good points if he can hold on to this one. There's going to be one more lap after this. So McDonald head of Ingerden. And this is Dave Zalecki, who is currently 5th in the standings, doing pretty well tonight. Trying to find a way past Matthias Heidenreich. But Heidenreich must be getting jittery because Dave's running exactly the same car and livery as Johnny in the last race. And we know what happened into turn 1 for Matthias when that colour Ginetta was behind him last time. But I'm sure Dave never punts anyone, does he, Ben?
You had to, didn't you?
I did, yeah. He's got himself up the inside into the final corner, and I should imagine that'll be moved on unless that Camaro is, of course, very
down
quick
the
and
straight
line, and look at it go. And in fact, the Porsche gets through as well of, is that Zach Finney? Yes, it is. Heidenreich now runs wide, and Zalecki gets past Heidenreich as well as Finney. So Dave's not actually gained anything as a result of that, but has also not lost anything.
Oh, the teammates! It's the teammates!
It is the 2.4 Enduro teammates, and Van Oostenen backs right out of it and lets Johnny go. But Shipper now says, well, I wasn't involved in that, so I want a piece of this action, and I'll have both of you, please.
Oh, on the grass.
Oh, the understeer was real there, wasn't it? My words. Well saved.
It was. And he comes back on in front of Zach Finney, who's going to pick up another position on this lap. So good job for him. Now, McDonald must be coming towards the end of his lap, but we're watching Van Oostenen back up the inside. But Finney will hold on to that one, and look at Dave Zalecki now bumping his way through past Wilbert Van Oostenen. But
Getting his elbows out there.
Really close to the end of this race now to take his first win. He's coming through the final corner in that 666 McLaren. We're used to that being the car of choice of Andy Hearn, but not tonight. It's George McDonald, and he takes the win from Felix Ingerden. We're back with Matheson now chasing down. That's Eli Poe. So Seville takes third, Dixon fourth. Poe will take. No, he's dropping down the order. Well, he must have had a bad last lap. He's dropped down the order. But for the first time tonight, we can say, Johnny Ashley, you are not allowed to qualify next time around. He's finished 10th, look.
Managed to scrape through there in 10th after having contact with his 2.4 hour teammate.
I had to get that.
Jackson and Van der Veen having some fun across the line. There we go. Friends. Yep. There we go. Good stuff. So that is 4 out of 6 done. And so I think, Ben, you were the one who predicted McDonald that time?
Yeah, I did. I was a bit nervous when the Pulse boys started making their way through, but Oh, okay. Just before we go to just need a break for a second, but I do have a certain Mr. Mancy.
Yes.
For
You have him
we
what?
have to watch. This is the law. We have to watch this.
Oh, is this his mass binage?
I believe it is. Yeah. So we've got a spinning Ian there, which is
Oh, Ian's having a
not
rough
ideal.
night.
That the BMW is a handful. So what's he going to do here? Is he going to clip the curb on the inside? That's exactly what he's done.
Oh no!
Oh. Yeah, so that'll be that. So that's actually reminiscent of something we saw in, was it the Rookies, wasn't it? Where you get to, when you go side by side through there, it's very big chance of hitting the curb on the inside, and it's not a small curb either. So
No,
yeah.
we saw what happened to the Camaro in practice when you hit that curb and it bounced up and went on two wheels.
Yes, well that at least that could take it, couldn't it?
Yeah.
The NASCAR.
Well, there we go.
There only seems to be two cars that like curbs in ACC, and that's the Camaro and the Bentley.
Good old Bentley. Which somehow I managed to drag around Zolder the other night on a pad. Yeah, that thing is an absolute machine right now in ACC. So just checking in with you guys in chat. Once again, thank you all for joining us tonight. It's a great night of racing here at oNiD, welcoming some of the Jimmy Broadbent family to oNiD for the first time tonight. If you don't know, then oNiD Racing has been chosen as Jimmy Broadbent's partner community to help him manage his racing through simracing.gp. So we are very, very pleased to be doing that. And as a result, we thought we'd throw a little GT4 6-race season in one night tonight. We've had 2 races at Alton Park so far. And then we've just had 2 races at Zandvoort as well, which means, Dan, where do we go next?
We will be going to Mazzano.
For another 2 races. So 2 races at Mazzano to finish off this evening. So we've got 2 more qualifying sessions and 2 more races, 10-minute races each time. And we will have some fun at Mazzano, that's for sure.
We certainly will, and we may see a shake-up of the order at the front, even though obviously the top drivers can't qualify, so Seville and Dixon won't be qualifying again, but I think they may struggle a bit more to make their way through the field like they did in the previous rounds.
Yeah, that makes it. It's a long old back straight, isn't it? And yeah, it might just be a bit trickier for them to find their way back through the order. So the BMWs might have an easier time. So watch out for Ian Hall because the grunt of that BMW will suit Mazzano very, very nicely indeed. What else will work well around there? I mean, the grunt of the Camaro's good, but it might be a touch slidey for Mazzano in places. Thoughts?
It's from my personal experience, but I haven't driven it since the 1.8 update. It was quite understeery at Mazzano. I think the Aston and the Mercedes will go well with the 4-litre twin turbo V8 in the front of those.
Yeah,
They'll have some nice speed down the straight.
indeed they will. Yeah, so I think it's going to be interesting to see how things get changed up. Dave wants to know, is it no wang time for him? I think if you're in the Ginetta, Dave, it's time for actually just take the whole thing off. Get the screwdriver out, the tin snips, everything. Just take that wing off. You don't need it. See
Yeah,
if you
just
can
pretend
drag
it's a Ginetta
down it.
Junior.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So our top 10 in the last race was McDonald, Ingerden, Seville, Dixon, Stein, Stocks, Jax, Poe, Matheson, and Ashley. So those 10 are not allowed to qualify for the next race. Dave says, wing removed, let's go. Yeah, so if you're wondering what the pause is, we're just waiting for the next server to boot up so that we can get going. And we will be racing once more. Short practice session, followed by a 10-minute qualifier, followed by a 10-minute race. And I'm just hitting the old refresh button to see whether the next results have been added. Not yet is the answer. But as soon as they have, I'll bring you the updated championship standings, thanks to simracing.gp. It's probably a good opportunity to just thank all of oNiD's channel partners as well. Pitwall.live provide us with some live timing for selected events. There's sim-stuff.com, where you can get high quality, affordable button boxes. Simracing.gp, which is the platform that we use for hosting all of our events. Simrace247.com, that's where you get all your sim racing news, thanks to them. Ben22racing.com is our livery partner. Great job from them. Caden Computers, aka Dan, that's where you can get all of your great stuff for PC gaming equipment. And of course, our latest partner, Go for the Gap, owned by Miss Cami Sturch herself, with some wicked motorsport artwork that at some point I'm going to have to pick some up for myself. So there you go, plenty of channel partners here at oNiD. And of course, our biggest partner is Jimmy Broadbent. So it's great to be hosting this event tonight. 2 races to go at Misano. And we're just picking up the end of the free practice session before we switch into qualifying. So come on, guys, prediction time for qualifying again. Mr. Hyde, what do you reckon?
So, of those that can't qualify, I think it's going to be an easy pole pick for me, and that's going to be Manti.
Oh, of course, yeah. Jimbo gets to do the old qualification this time around. So, yeah, good shout. Ben, how about you?
I'm going to go for Ian. I don't know what his pace is here, but the BMW should be fairly handy. So if he's on it as ever, I think this will be more suiting to him.
Damn it, I was going to go for Ian as well. I tell you what, instead, I will go for... I don't know who to go for. Oh, it's not that big a decision, Adam. Just say a name. Come on. Okay, I'm going to stick with Ian. I thought Ian anyway, so I'm going to stick with Ian.
I imagine that's going to be pretty strong down the old back straight.
Yeah. I tell you what would have been interesting tonight is if Mr. Broadbent had have made it to race with us tonight, and Ian had have beat him into the server. How would Jimmy have felt about not being able to run car number 87?
That's a good point. I didn't even think about that. They'd have been fighting over it all evening, wouldn't they?
No, we might have had to have pulled rank and chucked Ian out the server temporarily, and then got Jimmy in first. So does Ian have his own team called Team 87?
Well, you could go and find him on Twitch. Yeah, he's Pinky87 on Twitch, streaming right now.
In which case,
always good for a follow.
Whenever these guys are in the server together, it'll just have to be first come, first served, I guess.
I'm sure they can fight it out on track for it.
Indeed. It's a shame we don't have Jimmy with us tonight. It would have been fascinating to see where he stacked up against these drivers. But unfortunately, life gets in the way sometimes. So we will definitely have Jimmy with us really soon for some racing, though, which will be absolutely fantastic. We will love that. But great to see that everyone has stuck with it tonight, and we've got a healthy field of GT4 cars anyway. So I guess the big question right now for all of you guys in chat is it going to be Mansi? Is it going to be Hall? Is it going to be somebody else on pole for round 5 of 6, our first race at Misano tonight? about to find out. I was just hitting the refresh to see if the results had loaded, but not quite yet. As soon as they do, I will bring you the updated championship standings. How quick is this Porsche in a straight line compared to the BMW?
It's not quite as quick. It's a good few miles per hour down. So we see Muncie using all of the track and then a little bit extra on his outlap. I'll have to make sure he gets that right for his flying lap, or it will get pinged up for track limits and it won't count.
It's a very easy track to get a cut track on as well, which is an interesting point. There's a lot of runoff and it is quite strict on what you can and can't do. So
Now,
you might see some people. Are we going to see another drive-through for track limits in a race?
I was just going to say,
Because we only had one.
Is 10 minutes long enough for Dave to pick up a drive-through, Dave?
I think it's just long enough, especially on this track.
I think Dave's listening in.
He's got zero wing on apparently as well, so it's even more likely.
So DTD, can you get a DT in this one? Interesting to see whether Jimmy just invalidated that lap. He looked a little bit wide out onto Le Sausage.
He's still green, so he's still fine. Using all the track then. That's what he's doing. Using all the track.
Using every inch of the surface to do a maximum apex speed.
Well, let's see what kind of time he puts up, and then we will compare it to Ian Hall. Of course, we're talking about these two, but it could be somebody else that throws it on pole. So Mr. Seville confirming, zero wing is probably the right way forward for the Ginetta here. So it will be really, really interesting to see how those Ginettas get on. Johnny seems to be enjoying himself tonight, doesn't he? He's full of lols and ha-has. But Mansi, the first one to cross the line, that's a 143.8. So let's see what Ian Hall can do. He's into the last couple of corners now. So I don't know whether he's had to pass that car of Heike van der Veen behind him, or whether he had some free track or not. Whether that might have hampered him. We're about to find out his time though, and he goes second.
So, as I think Van der Veen would have been on an outlap, so probably would have just jumped out of the way.
Knowing Heike, he would have done anyway. He's a good man, and would have recognised Ian's pace coming through. Good spot. So Ian probably not held up too much. So Mansi 3/10 to the good right now. So Ian's going to have to find something pretty special this time around, and that's not it. That's far too wide. As it is for Zach Finney as well. He's out wide. It seems every time Ben switches to another car, they go off track at the minute. So
well, it's quite hard to find some people on an actual lap as well, because as we said, track limits, and quite a few are getting
invalidations.
Yes, there's a word for the night. A lot of invalidated laps. Now, obviously, people are pushing. Want to be as far forward as possible, and it is very easy to go over those track limits here.
It was lovely watching Shipper just back that Porsche into the next corner. That Porsche does look like fun to drive, and our GT4 drivers will be finding out very soon, because the next GT4 league is a Porsche spec league. You can get yourself signed up to that if you join our Discord, and the Discord details will pop up on the chat at some point, or you can always head over to onidracing.com and find the Discord details there. But Mansi and Hall still first and second, Finney third, Van Veen slots in fifth, but actually only 5 guys have set a time so far. Hamish Isnat is coming towards the end of his lap though. as he goes 5th. Dave Zalecki pops in 3rd. And he's only a smidgen off of Ian Hall, you know. So that Ginetta is obviously not too bad in a straight line, Dave. 0 Wang for the win.
Here's everyone seeing that the Porsche's the best GT4, but the Ginetta's been, I don't know if it is the track choice tonight, but this isn't a track that we'd expect the Ginetta to be that strong. So maybe is the Ginetta secretly secretly become the best GT4 car? Is that what's happened?
Maybe it's secretly being bopped upwards.
I think it's going through some kind of renaissance. I mean, it's old enough.
Was it 2012, isn't it? I think it says in the car. Is it a 2012 car?
Yeah, I think that's right. Is that they have actually released a new car, but I don't think many people use it yet. So that's, if I remember correctly, the Ginetta on here is the G55 and the G56 is out, which is an absolute beast compared to the G55.
Is that one of the British Touring Car Support Series cars now?
Yeah, it is.
So they moved over to that one, yeah.
Yeah, they're moving over to that and it's got I think it's a 6-litre V8 with 500 horsepower, so a lot quicker in a straight line than the current.
That's almost as much as my knee
Ginetta.
scooter.
0.500.
No, it has no horsepower. Yeah, I am no part horse. Tom Stocks in the chat says, no, you're all wrong. Alpine's goated. Okay, good.
I tell you, the one of the most fun cars I tried was actually the Maserati, but nobody uses it. Probably for good reason, because it doesn't have ABS, so it does make it a bit sketchy sometimes, but that's really good fun. I was really tempted to use it in the next GT4 kind of open series, whenever we get round to having one which isn't a spec series or whatever we're going to do on Tuesdays, but I fancy that.
You'll say that. You'll say, I'm going to run the Maserati, I'll run the Maserati, then you'll turn up for the first session in the bloody Aston Martin.
Well, I mean, I was in the Beamer for nearly a year, so I needed to change from that.
That's true. Ian,
what am I running in the World Series though? What am I, a V12 or Jag? I think are my two choices at the minute. I think I'm losing my mind.
Yeah, I think you are too. Ian Hall's got himself a little bit closer to Jimmy, but that seems to be all she wrote, because he's back in the pits, so he won't be running again in this session.
But interestingly, only 9 of 13 cars that could qualify actually set a lap time.
Yeah. So there's a few guys still to pop up in there. Shipper is 5th after that lap, so he moves up. So we do get a 10th driver now come through. So I think that was Joy just putting in a lap for the first time. So we've now got 10 drivers with a lap on the board. I'm assuming that Akula is one of those drivers that we're waiting to see a time from. He's out on track. I say he, but I can't remember the first name of Akula, so could be she, could be they, could be, don't know. But Akula waiting for a time from them. And meanwhile, all the guys at the top have jumped back into the pits. Here comes Dominic Joy. Can he improve on 9th? No is the answer. He stays 9th, and that's qualifying over for Dominic. Is Akula out on track as we speak? This is Matthias Heidenreich. So he's 8th at the moment. And just looking to jump up a couple of spots. He'd have to find a couple of tenths to move ahead of Hamish. So that looks like a better lap from Hamish that time around, and not too far off the back of Graham Jackson as well, in a matching car. And as we know, Graham's doing really well tonight. Heike's enjoying that qualifying, and that is qualifying over. So your grid is Mancy from Hall, and Zalecki, Finney, Shipper, Jackson, Eisner, Heidenreich, Joy, Van der Veen, Jax, Poe, Stocks, Ashley, Seville, Akula, Dixon, Ingerden, Stein, Matheson, McDonald, and then some others that I can't see below that.
So
Jax,
for the first time tonight I've got a prediction right with Mancy on pole.
Yes.
You have. Congratulations. Well, you get the opportunity to make the next prediction for yourself. So, Dan, who's going to win this one?
I'm going to go with Hall. If you can stick with Mancy, you'll be able to make a move down the. Use the slingshot down the back straight to make a good overtaking move.
Motorsports Guy, great name. Thanks for the follow. I love how it's putting it on two lines. It was Motorsports I. But, yeah. Welcome along to oNiD. Thanks for the follow. Ben, who are you going with?
I think it's got to be Jimmy. I think the gap in quali. We don't obviously we don't know. Yeah, was it only 1/10 in the end?
Yeah.
Was it close? Oh, okay, well, no, I'm still going to stick with Jimmy. I think there's a few people towards the back who we haven't really seen their pace. So the kind of top 5 guys, Matheson, McDonald, Dixon, and Seville, they'll all be coming through. But I think it'll be between Jimmy and Ian at the front.
I'm going with Mr. Zero Wang. Dave Zalecki's going to come through and show that the Ginetta can do it at Misano as well. You heard it here first. Now, your standings have updated, so let's get a rundown. At the moment, first place is Jonathan Seville on a 238 points. Then it's Miles Dixon on 217. Then it's George McDonald on 188. Jimmy Mancy on 178. Fifth is Craig Matheson on 171. Then you've got Rudolf Stein on 164. Seventh is Dave Zalecki on 152. Eighth is Rob Jacks on 146. Then it's Tom Stock, Zach Finney, and that rounds out your top 10. And I stopped going through all the points because we are about to go racing for race 5 of 6 tonight. It's the first of 2 at Misano. Welcome to oNiD Racing, where we are green, and Ian Hall has the jump on Jimmy Mancy down into turn 1, but dive bomb with a dive bomb puts himself back into the lead at turn 1. Dave Zalecki sticking with him, as is Zach Finney and Shipper as well. But Mancy has now got himself away a little bit from Ian Hall. I thought Ian was going to get through and into the lead there as we look at the 2 Pulse Sim Sport cars trying to find a route through. And is that Dave Zalecki off track? I think it is. I think that's Zalecki just coming back on. We have Carnage a little further back, and that's one of the Pulse cars
Seville
as well. So Seville right down at the back. But I think
it might
Dave
have
Zalecki's had a tough time.
I think so. So is Johnny's down, dropped down a few places to 16th. Zalecki's down to 11th.
Back at the front, this is Jimmy Mancy then, and Ian's sticking with him at this moment in time. We've got a tidy battle there, I think, for 5th. But your order is Mancy, Hall, Shipper, Finney, Eisner, Jackson, Heidenreich, Poe, Jax, and Joy. That is your top 10. But here comes Ian Hall trying to keep with the Porsche of Jimmy Mancy. You'd expect Jimmy to be pretty quick through the final sector of this lap. Oh, and Dog Juice is in the kitty litter, and there's another car there as well. I think that is Hamish, isn't it?
I think you're correct.
So maybe Hamish and Graham just coming to blows a little bit. Am I also correct in thinking that Tom Stocks has now got his livery loaded? Yes, he has. So very bizarre.
That is a fantastic livery.
Big shout out for Boonatics for the livery. I know Tom was all over it when he saw it. So in the theme of the 2022 F1, that goes through the first corner.
Who is that? Is that Johnny or Dave?
It's Dave.
It's Dave, isn't it? Oh. And he's trying to get past old Dog Juice. Gets right up the inside, and that's one of the Pulse boys following him through. That's Miles Dixon up the inside of Graham as well. So Miles pushing forward, as is Dave. But Jimbo continues to lead from Ian Hall. So you see George McDonald side by side with Graham Jackson as well, and Matheson trying to get in on the action here with the 2 McLarens in front of him. Slots in behind. The old switcheroo on the pair of them. What a move from Matheson. Has he got it done on McDonald as well, though? No, not quite. McDonald holds to the inside line. Tricky braking zone, that one. They're now going to run side by side down the long straight at the back. And this is where you'd expect the McLaren to pull away. That Ginetta is holding on, actually. It's not doing too badly. Wolfsim Racing, thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. Welcome to oNiD. And Matheson, I think, was then going to get past McDonald because McDonald ran out wide. But we're now back up with Zach Finney, who's running 4th, right behind Shipper. Gap out front is less than 9/10 of a second as they cross the line. Sorry, no, it's jumped up now. Just over a second now between Mansi and Hall, as Mansi sets the fastest lap of the race. So here we go. 6 and a bit minutes left in this penultimate race of the night. Wolfsim Racing says, I shake in fear when I think about the rookie season starting next month. Do not fear it. You will have an absolute blast, sir. And welcome along to oNiD. Great to have you with us. And oNiD is very, very inclusive and is here for everyone. So whatever your ability, don't fear it. Come enjoy it. Is all I can say. Now, Dave's got himself back up into 8th, so that's not bad. And Dixon going with him in 9th. But at the moment, the gap out front is pretty stable. As we see, so that's Heidenreich to the outside of Finney, trying to look for a way through. But actually, in the end, lets Eli Poe go through up into 5th now. Heidenreich will try and chase the AMG down along the straight. The Camaro pretty quick in a straight line. But the AMG's no slouch itself. Poe now getting very close to the back of Finney. I sincerely hope that we don't see any more action from Poe in this race. As Heidenreich clouts the sausage, because you can in a Camaro, it will just eat it up.
Yeah,
that's what you were saying, wasn't it?
Yeah, and we can see Seville's stuck down in 17th.
He is, so that early action has cost him dearly. Now Ben has switched to Ian Hall because Ian has closed up on Jimbo Mansi on this lap. But we now start to get into the section of track where you'd expect that Porsche to be a little bit better than the BMW. Although we've now got a nice long straight for Ian to claw some back. Mansi will be having to watch his mirrors very closely because that BMW is still within striking distance as Jimbo runs a little bit wide on the exit there. So Wolf's asking who the league leader is, and that is Jonathan Seville, but he's down in 17th this time around. So Miles Dixon could find himself into the lead of the championship after this race. One more race to go after this one. And Hall sticking with Mansi. Only 3.5 minutes left to run in this race. We're now watching Dixon and Zalecki. So Dixon's got himself ahead of Zalecki. Dave not wanting to give that one up, just having a look to see whether he could squeeze back through. I thought Dave was going for a dive bomb there, and it actually made Miles get super close to Rob Jacks in front. And I think Jacks has just had a code brown and has left a gap there for Miles to try and squeeze around the outside as they head into the final corner. But chaps, that one was seriously close.
I think they did actually touch from what I could see.
Well, as I've said before, Miles is not when it comes to putting a move on. But Miles now gets a move done into turn 1 past Rob Jacks, and Dave Zalecki will try and follow through. Hopefully not like that. We've got a absolute bundle of cars directly in front of them. This is Heidenreich, part of that bundle. Zach Finney is 3rd, and then it's Eli Poe 4th, Heidenreich 4th, at 5th even. Those 3 all together. Looking like they could battle to the finish. Poe still looking for a way past Zach Finney. At the same time, Heidenreich trying to find a switchback. Oh, as we see the Porsche get sideways. He stopped the tank slapper, but Poe gets through. We now see Zalecki side by side with Rob Jacks. There is action all over the track in this one. This is what GT4s bring for you. Dave looking for the switcheroo in the Ginetta, and we'll now see whether Zero Wang is playing into his wheelhouse or not. As Shipper tries to get up the inside of Heidenreich and gets that one done quite nicely. But Heidenreich looking for a way back past. Not a place to send it. But they both do pretty well through there. And was that Dixon then outbraking himself? Yes, it was. So Jack's up the inside. And yeah, Dixon got caught on the sausage, I think. So Jack's is through. And then Zalecki back through as well.
Then ran into the gravel trap, which on here, it's like hitting the brakes when you touch that gravel.
So Dave and Jax have been side by side for most of this last lap. Dave with the solid send into T1, but that then switches back to being the outside. Oh, he gets it done around the outside though. That's a great move. But Rob Jax won't have given that one up, and we'll be looking to see whether he can send it into the hairpin that's coming up here. But no. And what's happened to Miles Dixon? He was right behind them. Miles has had a tricky start to the lap and has dropped back a couple of spaces. Yeah, he's dropped back to 13th. So we now see Seville getting past Ashley. That would have been like taking candy from a baby. I'm only kidding, Johnny. Johnny wouldn't give his candy up. Jimbo Mansi continues to lead, and I don't know where on the track they are, but I'm pretty much assuming that this is the final lap. Yep, here they are. So they're not going to get through for another one. And that means that Jimbo may well hold on to this one if he can just keep himself out of trouble for the last few corners. So who predicted Mansi? Was that you again, Dan? No, it was Ben.
No, I went for Ian with the power of that BMW down the straight.
Ben did the old Mansi predict, didn't you?
Yes, indeed. But Ian's kept him very honest here, so good race from both of them.
Yeah.
Although Whiskey Mansi has come over the line then to win.
Whiskey Mansi with the flash as well. Yeah. And Ian Hall takes second. Poe will take third. As Heidenreich and Schipper continue battling. The old switcheroo. This is a race to the flag. Who gets that? Heidenreich does by 1/1000th of a second. That is utterly ridiculous. I've never seen a gap that small before across the line. Absolutely staggering battle to the line. Interestingly then, so you have Dixon finishing 12th and Seville finishing 14th. So both of them take a hit to their points, which will be interesting.
I wonder if Dixon won't be too upset though. I think because he was in 8th or 9th, wasn't he? So he's I think there was a mistake, or he purposely dropped back to 11th for them to be at the top of the qualifying. Because we didn't see it. I'm not going to call you out, Miles.
That is interesting, actually. Yeah,
that might have been what was going on there. But yeah, so, excellent race though.
So Dixon actually, on updated order, takes 12th by the look of it. I had him in 11th, but yeah, 12th. Okay. There we go. So we will wait for those things to update. Johnny Ash!
Hello!
Are you having fun still?
Yeah, it's great fun.
Isn't it just?
Yeah, I don't even care where I finish now. I'm just enjoying throwing the Ginetta around on no setup at all.
Well, you're doing that. Did you run no Wang as well?
No, I run one Wang.
You run one Wang. No wonder you tripped over that. I run one Wang.
Yeah.
Let's see whether Jimbo Mansi could say that after all of his whiskey.
Couldn't keep it off the curb at Zandvoort, so.
What?
Jimbo says he loves Wang.
Yeah, he's in the chat.
Johnny Seville violated the no Johnny rule. So he's been slapped with a 20-second timeout. Oops. It's still one of my favourite things that I ever did. But there we go. So, Johnny, one more to go, right?
Yes, yeah, one more to go. It's been good fun. I think it's going to be quite tight at the top. I think Johnny Seville and Miles are quite close.
Yeah. So there was a gap of there was
21 points.
21 points gap between them before that one. So I think Jonathan's probably in a fairly good place, and they both get to qualify as well.
Yeah, so it'll be a good battle. But it has been fun. I hope everyone you seem to have had good numbers watching it all night. So I hope everyone else has had as much fun as we have.
Wow! So Seville got a hit from behind before the race even got started.
Hadn't even crossed the line.
So we're watching on board. This is Johnny Seville's opening lap.
He wanted to say good Johnny, good battle Johnny, but he couldn't because he got a ban. Yeah, thanks Johnny, it was good fun. I enjoyed that. I was ultimately going to lose it, but it was fun nonetheless.
Yeah, that was all tight.
Yeah, that was
right
trying to
there.
make it 4 wide, unfortunately, I think there, and yeah.
Oh, it's so much pain. Sorry for all the strange noises that I'm making, but that was just pain happening right there. And is that Johnny right in front of him right now, or is that Dave? I think that's Johnny. Johnny, you and Dave need to run different liveries in the future. I can't tell who's who.
To be fair, I did tell everyone they couldn't run custom liveries, and then me and Dave rock up in oNiD liveries.
Yeah, and Ian's obviously just run his normal livery as well because that one's getting picked up.
No, it's not. He hasn't got the sponsors on it. He's been a good boy.
Ah.
I think, and the
Just
Pulse
being
boys,
naughty.
the Pulse boys have been well behaved and not used their Janetta
Yeah.
once. So maybe for the next one, we haven't had any issues, have we, with the servers? I know ACC can be a bit finicky sometimes.
Great word, look at that. Finicky.
Yeah, there he is with a great word again.
I'm going to shut up.
Rolling out the vocab tonight. He's
I'm going to shut
on
up.
it.
I told you I'm getting my practice in for a couple of weeks' time and actually have to do commentary again.
Can't work out what my favourite of the night is though. I mean, Finickity's up there. That is good.
Yeah.
I can't remember some of the others now, but they were very,
Snug.
very good. Snug, yeah. See, Snug just was nice.
Shifty.
Ah,
Yeah,
there we go.
That's
That
the
was
winner. I
favourite.
like that one.
Yeah, Shifty.
We'll keep
Shifty
that one.
is there. Johnny Sev said, "I said don't watch." Hiker's just pleased that he's competing in a social and racing and finishing. Yeah, that's a great job, sir. Yes, Hiker pointing out that for him, his favourite was somebody saying rear vision mirror in another stream. I wonder who that could have been. Hey,
Oh, someone said it in the race chat as well, which was quite funny. We all laughed. Quite
oh
hard.
really?
Yeah.
See, maybe it is actually a thing then.
No, I think he said his English isn't great, and he was trying to learn from what was said on stream. And I said, well, don't try and learn English from Adam. He don't even speak it that well.
Where's Johnny's mute button?
All you learn how to say is absolutely.
And I'm not trying to be funny, but I don't speak English very well. That was pot calling kettle black.
Huh?
Huh? Yeah,
Huh?
indeed.
Well, I'm gonna go, guys. Enjoy the last race.
Enjoy.
Okay, do you get to qualify this time?
I do, yes.
Oh, that's exciting for you. Well, fingers crossed you have a good one.
Cheers, buddy. See you later.
Ta-ra a bit. Okay then.
Yeah, carry on.
Like my momentary brummy. Just slipping out. Oh, here he is. Okay, how much that whiskey's gone now?
I'm waiting for it to get me another one.
Surprised the bottle's not next to you. I'm actually slightly disappointed.
With a straw.
Yeah, I've poured it into one of them sports racing things with a massive straw. I've just got to like lean forward 2 centimeters. Yes, Jimmy, you will have the drink.
Do I have the drink? Yeah, very good.
You have the
very
whiskey.
Good. You have the whiskey, that man. Well, good win for you that time, but really, you only won that one because you binned it in the previous race, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What a way to bag a win.
Good.
And
Good.
considering, well, who won the other race then? So, it was Tom, wasn't it? Oh, there
Yeah.
it is. It is showing.
Yeah. Tom Stocks took
He's
your
not going to
win.
stop talking about it now. That's it.
Oh.
He will be over the moon that he's probably going to end up with the same wins as you, Jimbo.
I don't know. I think Tom's quite disappointed about the way that it happened because it was as a result of a El Punto, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. If you're going to say that I only won a race because I binned it in the previous one, at least I didn't move anyone out of the way. Apart from the poor person that was next to me in the other race when I hit the curb.
That's very, very true. Very true.
Okay.
Now, you're...
Another whiskey.
Oh, well done, Mrs. Mancy. Your turn one antics were quite interesting. Nothing wrong. It was that was just a proper send to keep hold of your lead.
Ian was fairly early on the brakes, but I'm sure that's what Jimbo's going to say. That's what I thought anyway.
I thought he was really early. I was really surprised because I wasn't like out of control, sort of like offline or anything, but I was really surprised. He got a good run on me at the start, and then I don't know, just sort of like backed out with it a little bit. But maybe he was worried after what I did to him at Zandvoort. So that's the thing, isn't it? You set a precedent. You scare someone so that they move out of your way. It's kind of like the Max Verstappen effect. Everyone knows that he's going to make that move. So yeah, that's what I need to do.
Yeah, I was just going to say you need to calm down a bit there, Max.
It's yeah, well, I need a Michael Massey on my side for this last one if I'm going to win it. So
I think we can call a safety car.
Yeah. Oh well. What was it you wanted me to say? Johnny said something, and you wanted to know if I could say it.
Oh god.
He had a bit of a tongue twister, and you said we'll see if Jimmy can say that.
Oh yeah. Oh, what was it now? Oh.
I'm the one that's been drinking. Jesus.
It was something about no. He run one wang. That was it. He run one wang.
He ran one wang, or he won one wang.
Well, you managed
how
it
many
either
more,
way.
How many more is there? Yeah. If a woodchuck could chuck wood, how much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Yeah, good.
Needs more whiskey. That's it.
Yeah, he's not had enough yet.
Clearly not had enough. That's always my test.
He's babbling now.
Oh, we've had
go to a nightclub and get turned away drunk. You're too drunk to come in. No, I'm not. Listen to this. Red lorry, yellow lorry, red lorry.
Well, as long as it's not red duck, yellow duck, then we're all good.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's normally what comes out of my mouth anyway, so...
That's very true.
Anyway, I will leave you guys to do quali in the final race. I'm going to go back and put everyone off while they qualify. And, yeah, I'll speak to you later.
Good job. Thanks, Jimmy. Boy. Ben.
We've had a peg leg in chat.
Yeah, Ben, why the peg leg?
Oh, I just felt like I hadn't been used tonight. We've been streaming for over 3 hours. I think it's getting to me.
Oh my god, has it been that long? It didn't feel that long, actually. Yeah. Of course, what everyone really wants is exclamation mark merch, right? So there you go. Get your own merch.
Much more useful commands than the ones I put on.
We are in qualifying now for the final race of the night, the second race at Misano. So, prediction time, I reckon, chaps. I guess it's going to be a case of which one of the Pulse boys is going to take pole. So, Ben, you can go first.
I think Seville. I think he's he did well with given the damage in the last race, considering he had that much damage from a couple of knocks at the start. He still came through the field a little bit, so fancy him to top off the champ. I'm not sure on the standings, but to bring it home.
Yep. Dan, what about you?
I'll go for Dixon for pole. Just to be a little bit different.
I'm going to go with Hiker No, I'm not. I'm going to go with Seville as well. As much as I'd love Hiker to take pole overall, I think I'm going with Seville, and I think I think he'll round it out quite nicely. I will give you the updated standings as soon as they're updated on SGP, but we are into qualifying now. 7.5-ish minutes left in this one. No times on the board as yet. As these guys still try and get some warmth into their tyres. If you've not driven GT4s before, then these things do not have tyre warmers, which might be one of the reasons why we've had some interesting first laps, given that we're not having full lap warm-ups as well. There'll be a lot of cold tyres going on at the start of these races.
Yeah, there certainly will. It takes a good 3/4 of a lap usually to get any temperature in the tyres of a GT4. So they'll be starting the race with blue tyres and probably blue brakes as well. So they've done a great job tonight in how little incidents have been at turn 1, 2 and 3 in the races so far.
With the exception of that one race at Zandvoort, of course, but let's not talk about that one.
Well, that was more of a rejoin than a cold tyres and brakes issue.
Yeah, certainly was. So 6.5 minutes left to go in this qualifying session. No times on the board yet, but that's going to change pretty soon. Is George going to be the first one across the line, Ben?
Yeah, he was first out of the pits. He's first across the line, and he hasn't invalidated. He said no, he didn't invalidate it, so he's going to come across the line with a 43, I think.
Is his car called Punty McPuntface?
Yes.
That's lovely. I like that. And he does a 1:43.8, which is a pretty good time.
I think he's in the Punty McPuntface team with Junior, if you've ever spotted Junior running it as well. So
I hadn't spotted the team name before,
I think that's a callback to one of the old team names, but there you go. What else have we got?
So Isner slots in second. Yeah, let's pick up Johnny. Let's see how he gets on. In fact, can we go on board with Johnny?
I'm not sure about that.
Let's see how this Ginetta handles. Can't quite decide whether he's going straight or not, but pinned through the fast right. I love this section of Mazzano. Johnny with a nice line through there as well. Just found the apex as well. This is quite
Sounds
nice.
Surprised. You hear that, Dan? Adam was very, very shocked by that.
Johnny, we love you. Mainly because you can take it when I take the mickey. Here he comes. See where he goes. He goes second, look. The man's on fire. Absolute fire. 1.3
Dave in the
but
chat.
It's a great lap.
Dave in the chat says he's running 0 wang this race.
Oh, Johnny's gone for the no wang, has he?
Dave has.
Yeah, part of the no wang gang.
Oh, Johnny's running 0 wang as well. Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Misunderstood.
No.
I was going to call Dave out on not running 0 wang in the first race.
Yeah.
No, Dave
Well,
was the one who started the 0 wang club off in race 1. Tom's gone no wang as well by the looks of it, so we'll see how he gets on. But once again, old Stocksy can't qualify. He's having a good night. And here comes Matheson. So he is to the point now, and he's actually ahead of Dixon at the moment. So good lap from Craig Matheson.
I mean, he's up there in the. The standings haven't updated, have they? But he was in the top 5 on the point standing, so he's had a solid night tonight.
He has. I'm doing the big refresh on SGP for the points. It will be with us shortly, I'm sure. But yeah, Matheson with a solid lap. We haven't seen one from.
Up, so.
Wow, we haven't seen one from Seville yet, but I'm assuming he's on a lap right now. There he is. Still valid?
Still valid. 40 odd seconds in and still valid.
Good man. Already one up on me then.
What, 10 seconds in and I'm still valid? Or...
I always struggle at Mazzano. I love driving this track, but I really struggle here for
Yeah,
pace.
it's not high on my list of ones I'm good at. Unfortunately, I've always struggled here. It's a very tricky. It's got a lot of strange corners with very like late apexes or weird
Yeah.
braking zones on it. So it can be a
It's
tricky
the
one to master.
it's the fast left-hander out onto the infield straight that gets me every single lap. I either clout the curb on the inside, run out wide onto the sausage, or just don't carry enough pace through there. And
Yeah,
then it comes you all the way up the straight as well.
that's the corner where I managed to get an Audi vertical, which is always interesting. Seville then fastest, changing subject away from my competencies in an Audi.
It was that corner as well where in the World Series evaluation I was actually having a good race, and then Tom Stocks completely wiped me out, didn't you, Tom? Yeah. There we go. He's not answering that one. But Tom's gone 0-1 because he was getting mugged on the straights. So there we go. He even got passed by a Ginetta. And he's telling me to shh about his punt, but it was a proper punt. And that is a big gap, first to second now, Seville to McDonald. Suggests that Dixon has maybe not had a clean lap yet.
Well,
The lap
what was pole in the last one though? The pole in the last one was a 43.
it
Wasn't
was,
it? So,
yeah, but that was only Jimbo, wasn't it?
Oh,
So
it was only Jimbo, yeah. So like,
yeah,
they were still in the 43s, and Jonathan's come in straight away with a 42.7. I think his pace was a little bit masked because he had the damage in the first race here. So maybe he's just hot. And maybe Miles is just as quick, but at the minute Miles is slightly up, but not 9/10 up.
so at the moment it's just looking like an absolute beast of a lap from Seville. It's a phenomenal lap. McDonald, Matheson, and Dixon all very, very close together on lap times. So, Dixon could still find himself quite easily up in second. I'm not sure whether he's got enough
I think he
in the
will be in
tank.
second here as long as
Seville.
he's actually invalidated it on the last corner. He was half a second up there, so he's going to have to go again.
Yeah, he's got time to go again, which
this is his final attempt then. So he's going to have to pull one out of the bag, or else he will be starting fourth for the championship decider. Johnny, the track goes the other way, my friend.
I think that was giving up on the lap.
Well, he's currently sixth, which would not be a terrible place to start this one. Hello, Busy. Welcome along. Joining us towards the end of tonight's stream. So it's 10:30 on a Wednesday night. And we're still streaming 3 hours, 20 minutes in. And bringing you some great GT4 action. We've got one race left to go. One 10-minute thrash around Misano for these guys. And that is coming up very, very soon. This is just the final stages of qualifying. And Ben, have we got anyone on a really good lap?
Yeah, so Matheson's a couple of tenths up here, and then Dixon's also a few tenths up as well. So we'll watch Matheson cross the line, and then we've got Dixon and Ingerhayden both up behind as well. So it'll be interesting to see how close they can get to Seville, because Seville is down on his lap. He does have the big gap. McDonald's not going quicker a minute. I think he's just made a mistake, or he's just finished his lap. So Matheson's coming across the line. He's going to go quicker.
He does. So he's down to, what's that, 5/10 ish. And then here comes Dixon out the final corner. See whether he can snatch second off of Matheson. And he does. Oh, that's close. But he does snatch it. And Dixon up to second then. So it will be a Pulse Sim Sport 1-2 on the grid. Unless Felix Ingerden can do something spectacular. No, he can't.
I think he got invalidated towards the end of the lap there. I think so.
So here comes Rudolf Stein towards the end of his lap. Tom saying T1 flat this race for sure. Really? You absolute buffoon. Stein stole 7th at the end there. So there we go. That's the end of the final qualifying of the night. and we're about to head into the final race. So it's final prediction times, boys. Ben, who's going to win this one?
I'm gonna go for Miles. Why not?
Oh, interesting.
Why not? I think it's so close in the. I think I don't know how close they are, but
Wow. Okay, do you want the updated standings?
Yes. Before I make my prediction, I'll change my mind.
So Jonathan Seville is currently in first with 259 points. Second is now Jimmy Mancy with 253 points. So just 6 points between those two. But Mancy starting down in 12th because he won the last race, so had to sit out qualifying. Miles Dixon is third on 245. So gap is 14 between Dixon and Seville. Quite a gap, that one. McDonald then fourth with 218. Then it's Zalecki, Matheson, Hall, Jacks, Stocks, and Stain is your top 10. So, Dan, very quickly, let's get your prediction.
I'm going to go for the first non-Ginetta of McDonald.
Okay. And Ben, do you want to just clarify yours?
I'll stay with Miles. I've got faith. I think
Okay,
Seville
well-
was quicker over a lap, but Miles was moving, wasn't he, in that last race through the field a little bit? So let's see. Let's see if we have if we have a teammate on teammate murder.
Oh, that would make things spicy, especially if they ended up all together with Mancy in the middle of the field and it was a proper humdinger battle for the title.
Exactly.
But my gut tells me that Seville's going to walk off with this one, but let's hope not. Oh, spice in the final race. They head off on their very, very short warm-up. Miles was a bit slow in getting going, but maybe that was on purpose so that he could have a big stop on the brakes to get some heat into them. But we are waiting for the green lights, and then we will be off racing for the final race here tonight, and we get going. And it's not a great start from Dixon, and actually Matheson could have a shot up into the inside. Dixon outbrakes him though, and manages to hold on to second. So Seville leads from Dixon. Then it's Matheson, and then that looks like McDonald in fourth and Ingerden in fifth. And it looks like we've got through the first couple of corners relatively cleanly. Dixon trying to go with Seville, and Seville runs a bit wider than Dixon, but that's probably a better line for the internal straight there. Hiker van der Veen in a nice 11th place at this early stage of the race. And thank you, King of Boost, for the follow. Much appreciated. Loving all the new follows tonight. I'm sure some of you coming to us for the first time, following... hang on a minute. Is that Jimmy Mancy up there? Find Mr. Mancy for me. I think he's... yeah, he's up in at least 9th, but I think he's higher than that, you know. I think he's about to go 6th. That's Johnny Ashley he's just got past.
So he's already made
Mancy-
6 places.
Yeah.
Wow, what a start for Mancy. And we know he had the pace to win last time around because he took the win. But I think he's still going to need something to happen between Seville and Dixon for him to have a chance of taking the trophy tonight. Oh, Johnny gets it all wrong. Johnny be gone. There he is. He said he was enjoying sliding the Ginetta around, and he not only slid it, but slid it back. Oh, no, he got help.
Oh,
Bye.
again.
Dear, dear.
And then a great rejoin that.
I think, yeah, it was
I'm
trying
not
to
sure
get the
he's
car
fully
under
Donington.
control.
I'm not sure he was fully back in control of that one, although I haven't watched, because I've got the stream up as well. That's a couple of seconds behind, and actually, yeah, he probably could have held his brakes a little bit more than he did.
Yeah, it's pretty much a carbon copy of what I did at Donington Park in the GT4 league.
Indeed,
When I
it
got
is.
punted
Yes.
wide and then get back on the power and hit someone else.
You did indeed, didn't you? Now, Seville is getting away a little bit now at the front, and actually Dixon having to keep an eye on Matheson behind him. So Mancy is up to 6th and closing the gap on Ingerden and McDonald. But right now, it's Jonathan Seville's to lose. and Mr. Busy has fallen foul of the no Johnny as well. Chicken drumstick says bin it.
Thanks, Sam.
Very good. So, yeah, Dan, the last thing you want to say is Johnny in chat.
We're gonna have to change that Nightbot thing.
Yeah.
I think we might have
No,
to change
I
it.
love it.
Okay.
I love
okay.
it. We don't want people saying Johnny in chat.
Well,
Well,
it's the wrong spelling.
No, I changed it today. Look,
Oh. Oh.
look. You see, it's the correct Johnny spelling.
No, I don't
now.
like. Yeah, but you can't use the command.
Oh yeah, you can't.
Can't use the
Johnny
command, Adam. Oh dear me.
Oh no!
Blame Adam. That is not me.
Blame Adam D for once. Yeah, blame the peg. Never mind. I'll get that one fixed before our next stream, which will be Friday, of course. The next round of the 2.4s. So yeah, thanks Dan for just following it up with an exclamation mark. Now we are watching Michael Shipper getting nice and close to the back of Hamish. So these two have found each other on track a few times tonight. Here comes Shipper to the inside as they head in towards the hairpin here. And Hamish, late on the brakes, trying to hold on around the outside. It was a good attempt, worth a try, but Shipper gets it done on the inside. Now, out front, the gap is 6/10, but Matheson's still just the 3/10 behind Dixon as well. So, yeah. Isn't the John ones? We're calling him John now. Not John boy.
Oh, let's start that. That's great.
Yeah, let's call him John from now on. That's it. It's done. Right, Johnny Ashley, your name is now John. I can get the impression he went like that, which makes it look better. Nate Dog with the follow. Thank you, sir. Welcome along. I say sir. I really shouldn't say. Oh, who's got a drive-through? Oh, it's Poe. Oh, I was hoping it was going to be Dave. I thought it was going to be drive-through Dave, but no. So Poe picks up a drive-through for track limits. So that is game over for him. Is that somebody else with a drive-through?
No, it's just crossed the line.
Of course, yeah. It's just reminding us. Oh, now he's got to stop and go.
It's G30 now.
So I can only assume he's then picked up another track cut at the very next corner, and it's converted it to an SG30. If he does it again, he runs the risk of that turning into a disqualification, I think. But,
yes, yeah, I've done that before, and I've fueled tried to cut a few corners, and yeah, it disqualifies you.
There's not many infractions that you haven't found at some point along the line, is there?
No, I think I've found most of them.
You just like to test the system, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is Ian Hall. Wow!
That's an off-track overtake if I've ever seen one.
It is, but at the same time, you wouldn't want to stop people having that kind of racing, really, would you? Because,
no.
Wow, that's some great side-by-side action. Matheson with a drive-through. So that's his challenge over now. But look at how much closer Dixon is to Seville. And there we go. Poe is disqualified now. So he's obviously just decided to keep doing it and has picked himself up a disqualification. Johnny Ashley's back in the pits. So either repair or has just decided that enough's enough on this one after he got punted early doors.
So Mancey's up to a net 4th.
He is, yeah, good shout, of course, because Matheson with the drive-through. So, yeah, that is a net 4th. He's still a fair way behind McDonald, though, so got some closing up to do there, and running that wide is not going to help you, Mr. Whiskey. Yeah, the two Pulse Sim Sport boys out front at the moment. It's looking good for Seville taking the one-night title. In fact, even if Dixon got through, then Seville could just stick with him and still win the title. The gap is 14 points between them going into this final race. So something pretty nasty would have to happen.
The looking very dog-eared, that orange McLaren.
Dog juice looking dog-eared, indeed.
Yeah.
The old Juice Sports as Ian Hall makes up another place up into 9th. But
Cool.
that's a big old send from whoever that was in the Camaro.
A cooler.
But look how much closer Dixon is now to Seville. But we're back very quickly with
Can't keep
Akula,
up.
who's now got Hamish going straight past him. Let's go back to the front now, because that one is as close as coconuts. Seville out front, but not by much from Dixon.
Oh, are we going to get multi-21 this time?
I think there will be certainly no team orders this time around. What Dixon has to avoid, though, is any contact with Seville that then inadvertently leads to him taking the title. But
Oh yes,
wow.
lovely.
Oh, lovely switchback, but they're still side by side. So Seville will stick with that. And of course, you don't know how many track limit warnings these guys have got, because that was out very wide for Dixon. But Dixon now does move back into the lead. But Seville will go with him. I have no doubt about that. So come on, boys. Come on, Pulse Simsport boys. Give us a great battle right to the finish. And there we go. So Busy's asking what's DJ's name in game. So Dog Juice is known as Graham Jackson in real life. Heike van der Veen with an SG10 now, as I try and make up different penalties that don't actually exist. McDonald has got himself past Matheson, who's still pending that drive-through, so he'll have to take that this time around or face a disqualification. But look, Seville has stayed with Dixon. Dixon could almost do with backing him up, really, and seeing if McDonald can come and join the party and take some points off of Seville. At the moment, Seville looking pretty racy.
And that's it. It's over already, Adam.
Oh my God, I'm not
Over
used to
the
these
line.
short
I know.
races.
Great race though. Last lap overtake for Miles. A little bit of understeer from Jonathan. That was all he needed to make the move, wasn't it? That turn 4.
Absolutely. I had no concept of the fact that that was the final lap, but there we go. So Dixon from Seville, then McDonald, Mancy, Ingerden, Matheson, but I think he's going to drop down because he's going to now pick up a penalty instead.
Yeah, he tried. It looks like he tried to take his drive-through on the final lap, which it won't let you do.
No, it won't. So has he got a plus 130 there or a plus 30? I can't.
Plus 30, but he lost the place to Mancy and Ingerden before the end of the race.
Mancy with the fastest lap of the race as well, look. There's the man. Right there. But that is now all over. And what a night of action. Now, unfortunately, we can't give you the standings straight away, but what we can say with pretty much certainty is that Jonathan Seville will take the title from tonight, because even though Miles did beat him, there was a 15-point gap going into, 14-point gap going into that race. And there certainly isn't 14 points between first and second in the point scoring. So Seville, our one-night champion. Boys, what did you think of that for a little format?
That was certainly exciting, and a lot of exciting racing at that.
Yeah, I mean, we packed tons of racing into that. 6 different races across the night, and each one of them had as much action as one of our 45-minute GT4 races. Ben, thoughts?
Yeah, mad. I think it's definitely something that we'll look to run again for Jimmy Broadbent's community. I think well, hopefully everyone had fun. I think we had a few dropouts at the end, maybe a few tired eyes in the last couple at Misano, but overall great to see so many people racing. Some really good action, and the 10 starting from the back rule definitely mixed it up a bit, didn't it? So yeah, really good.
Icy indeed, yeah. It reminds me of some of the race room races that we've run where you can have the reverse grid on, and that makes for some great fun racing as well. So yeah, no, really good stuff tonight. I enjoyed that, and it was great welcoming so many new people along to the stream as well. So thank you for coming along and joining oNiD. And if you're not with us already on Discord, then all of the information is on onidracing.com. But you can see more action from oNiD on Friday with the 2.4 Enduro Series, the second round of that one. That will be streamed live. And then we have a little break on Sunday, don't we? Because the World Series is has finished. So are we into evaluation races for the next one this Sunday?
Yeah, we
really-
start hitting all the evaluation races for World Series first, and then we go
Yeah.
through the Rookie League and GT4 Spec Series over the coming weeks. So good time for everyone to get signed up and get taking part in the evaluations. But yeah, I'm not sure when the next stream is. Potentially Friday. Should everything go to plan, we should have a stream on Friday for the 2.4 hour series.
Yeah,
Unless something
absolutely.
changes.
Now, what is worth just pointing out when some of you guys are new to oNiD as well, there's a couple of things that are open for registration right now as well. If you want to come and join us racing, and that is so actually tomorrow night you could probably squeeze into a couple of rounds of the Race Room P2 Mini League. You'd have to jump on our Discord and just jump into the Race Room role and see whether you can squeeze into that one, but I'm sure you could. Then the other one that's still open for registration is we will still take a few more names for the splits that we have in the GT3 European Series, but you would need to be quick because the first evaluation race is this Sunday from Spa. There is some slots available in our next Assetto Corsa League as well. There's one evaluation race left for that one. That's this coming Monday. So we're doing a Mazda MX-5 Asia Cup. So we've got a evaluation race on Monday round Silver Coins. So there's some spots left for that. There's a social next week as well on Tuesday night, which is the Lamborghini Huracan Super Trofeo Cup car around Hungaroring. There's a couple of spots left for that as well. And if you're a rookie, then there's an induction and social night next Thursday as well. So plenty of stuff to sign up for at the moment. So it's a good time to come join oNiD and get involved. And it will be very, very quickly that you will get some action going on with the Jimmy Broadbent side of things as well. So keep an eye on Gymcord for the first announcements of that from myself and Johnny. Whew. So there we go. Never a dull moment round here, is there?
Not at all. Always busy. But it's really good to see some of the events going on at the minute and new people joining all over the place. So get yourself signed up because, for instance, I think we're running out of what? We've got 80 odd people for the not the World Series, but the Sunday League now for across both splits. So plenty going on. Absolute madness.
And for a community that's barely a year old, it's all great fun. So I think it leaves me to say a big thank you to everyone that's hit the follow button tonight. It's been great to see so many new people join us. Thank you for doing that. We welcome you to the oNiD family. And of course, thank you to our drivers tonight as well. Some great action out on track. And a big thank you to Ben, first of all, for all your work on the cameras. I know it was a bit nuts at times, and you didn't actually really want to do much talking tonight because you're not feeling too well. But I still made you talk, so sorry about that.
That's fine. That's fine. I'll just be quieter. You know, I'm sure everyone else I'll be talking to tomorrow will appreciate me not having much of a voice. So,
but thank you for all your work
thank
tonight.
you, Adam, tonight.
Super stuff. And Dan, of course, thank you for joining us and adding a little bit of extra flavour and colour to proceedings.
No problem at all. It was great to be here and great to see all the exciting racing.
Excellent stuff. Guys, we're done. Come join us again for the next stream, and we'll love you and leave you. So good night. Thank you.